The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. Aquí estamos, mi amigos. Happy Cinco de Mayo, baby! Yeah! See?
There it is. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Obviously, a celebration. Now, if I was to go into a full monologue about what Cinco de Mayo is, it stands for, and how everybody celebrates Cinco de Mayo, I would be an asshole. But I would like to say it to everybody out there that's utilizing this day to maybe go get some margaritas.
What?
With sugar.
What?
Or salt.
What?
Or cervezas.
What?
More specifically.
What? Modelo. What? Corona. What?
Maybe a Yinzarita.
What?
Take an icy light, put that thing in a margarita,
Hell
flip it
yeah,
upside down.
what?
What do you got? Happy Cinco de Mayo.
What?
Anyways, I hope you guys have an incredible day. Thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful Thursday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. We will enjoy some Terramana.
Hell yeah.
Neho.
Love the nail.
Good stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big tequila guy. Last time I drank tequila, 100 shots of them, and then I ended up in jail.
Okay.
Makes sense. Then.
But every once in a while, I'll dabble with a margarita.
What?
All right, I'm not getting into it.
Thank you, Terramana,
Thank you,
Dwayne
Terramana.
Johnson.
It is incredibly smooth.
Oh my God, so
Delicious.
smooth.
Oh,
Thank you, Rock.
happy Cinco de Mayo. This is not a commercial for Terramana, but everything's a commercial for Terramana if it's this damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh, my
got that
God.
right.
Oh, my
Tell you what,
God.
after work today, you go to fucking Applebee's, get yourself some Terramana fucking margarita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, Tone.
Doing it right.
Go to Applebee's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bees, baby.
They have the Terramana margs there.
They do.
Well, Applebee's has got a lot of the goods, actually. I mean, that was those apps they had, the half price apps.
2 for 20.
That's today. It's 2 for 20 Thursday, boys.
Oh, my God.
At the bees.
None
With
better
a
get fucked up at the
Terramana.
bees.
What?
Listen, we should not be promoting Applebee's on Cinco de Mayo.
No.
Cinco de Mayo is like home, but think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
think about it.
it's delicious.
There are empty,
Yeah,
empty
quesadillas.
spots in the parking lot.
This is not a commercial for Applebee's, by the way, but
No.
anybody that's ever been to a commercial would say, this should be a commercial for Applebee's. This place is fucking awesome.
What I
Had the quesadilla burger.
Oh, so good. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Applebee's
Oh,
stopped
my God.
doing commercials too, so it would be nice just to promote them a little.
Well, they stopped doing commercials because everybody knows at this point.
Well, and
True.
because they
CNN.
got sent to break at the worst possible time in the history of
Little
television.
bit of chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The panning of the war zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the sirens. Yeah.
And a little bit of chicken fried.
Come on down. Applebee's.
Half off abs Thursdays.
Forgot about that. That was just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still happening.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll continue to.
But how about, like, I was looking at a piece of footage from this particular. Anyways, welcome to the show. Okay, JJ Redick's going to be here. That's awesome. 15 minutes. He trended yesterday, obviously, for going on the first take and doing what JJ Redick has been doing on ESPN for the last, I guess, couple months now. At this point, everything he says on there is universally beloved by the internet. It feels like. Yesterday, took a shot at Chris Mad Dog Russo, and that thing went wild on the internet. At least 10 million views in the clip that I seen. Who knows how many on every? That was just on Twitter, let alone other clips on Twitter, and probably on Instagram, TikTok, and everything like that. JJ Redick is a rocket ship right now in the sports media world. Can't wait to chat with him in about 14 minutes. He also never missed a shot when he played at Duke.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Every time he stepped on in front of his Cameron Crazies in the town of Shasheskyville,
Sure.
he fucking just put the ball through the bucket.
Yeah.
Locked and loaded. Great conversation. Can't wait to chat with him. Former NBA great, by the way, been there. Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated, is going to join us today. Now, he did a report about how the commissioner of the Pac-12 conference and Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, it's different down here. They are going to D.C. to meet with senators and lobbyists and things of that nature because the NIL is running wild with zero guardrails in place, it appears. Ross Dellinger, amid unrest around NIL and college sports, Commissioner George Kliffkov, Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Just like Igor Shkursky's about to get his fucking ass beat tonight, dude.
Boom.
Penn's winning tonight. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Knock it in.
Commissioner George Klivkoff and Greg Sankey are traveling to Washington, D.C. to meet with key U.S. senators on Thursday in a lobbying effort for federal legislation. And U.S. Senate aide tells Sports Illustrated Now, which is Ross Dellinger. He'll join us in the second hour to chat about everything that he knows in that. This is a big deal because I was watching a video a little bit over a year ago. It was like April 10th or something like that. I forget, 2021, which is not that long ago in the grand scheme of the world. But so many things have happened since then. We actually chatted with Anthony Gonzalez about this entire thing. He was at the time serving the fine people of Ohio.
That's right.
In Congress. He was in Congress at the time, and he was pushing one of the first bills for the NIL stuff to kind of take place before, this was even a real thing. He was kind of running with it and pushing it through DC. He was the perfect fucking guy to do that. And then every single party that is in politics hated him.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I believe he was a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
So the Democrats already hated him.
Right.
And then, boy, he became the target of Republicans, like campaigns.
Yes, he
Right.
did.
So he was almost hated more by the Republicans than by the Democrats. And then the Green Party, they came in from the top row. Like, we fucking hate
we
this.
don't like this guy
We
either.
don't like him either. Everybody hated him. And he's retired from political. And by the way, as former teammate of his and friend of the show, Anthony Gonzalez we're pretty happy he's back.
Yeah.
Happy for you, Gonzo.
Just living.
Enjoy it.
Just living his life now. But he would be the perfect human being to be in there to conversate about what this bill should be and what it shouldn't be. And he was trying to put some guardrails on it. And what he said basically in our conversation from April is exactly what's happening now. Can't wait for Ross to hear that and react to that with the news of today. And also, those commissioners are going right there. These motherfuckers make more money than us.
Yeah.
Can't have it.
You and me both? What's your yearly salary? You senator guy?
1.5 million.
No, like 180,000 or something like that. Senator.
Making
Like,
1.5
Oh, okay. I
million?
thought you were talking about the AD. Yeah.
No, not the
No,
AD.
right.
Hey, you senator person.
150.
150,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even one deal for our fucking quarterback.
Nope.
Okay? He's getting 300,000 just from the Jiffy Lube down the street down there. And we got venture capitalist money coming in basically every single school, and it's turning into just a free agency for some players. We can't have that. That'd be like... That'd be capitalism. We don't want.
Can't do that.
We don't want.
Can't do that.
We don't want capitalism. Do we want these players to make and afford themselves an opportunity to garner a shit ton of cash more so than you? Look how hard we've worked for how long we've worked. Now these players are just going to be able to get recruited to play college. Well, these guys might not even play. And they're also giving a scholarship to them. I mean, this is insane right now. We got to change this. I assume they'll find some guardrails in the middle because Gonzo even does reference like, hey, this can't just become the only recruiting tool that some teams have. But why not? You know,
it's hard.
How are they going to stop it? How will they stop it? Not 100% sure. We actually chatted for a couple years about it all. Like when I went down and called the University of Houston game, Dana Holgerson was the head coach. Dana Holgerson, formerly at West Virginia, he was at the University of Houston or whatever. Still down there, I think, by the way. Him and Dorr, who was former equipment manager, who worked his entire way up. He's like the chief of staff or something up there. Shout out to both of them. When we went down there and we chatted with them, they were talking about the NIL stuff. And they were like, hey, a lot of big companies around here. They didn't say it, but the conversation around the entire program. It wasn't like conversation with them, but it was with the program. They're like, hey, a lot of big money around here. So we're going to be able to get a lot of recruits with like, hey, if you sign here, we'll be able to get you like 2 signings at this car dealership a year, and it'll be $30,000 a signing for each one. So that's $60,000 just from this. Then this company will have this. So like, I think even from the beginning, it was going to be used as a recruiting tool.
Yep.
And now that it is actually just openly happening where there isn't like hey, here's a fake sponsorship that we can definitely provide you that we know will be there. Instead, now it's just like, hey, we'll give you $600,000. You come sign with us right now. You don't have to do anything but sign your name on the thing or whatever. Well, hold on now. I got Georgia Tech online. They're down there in Atlanta. They got Coke and Turner and
What?
Chick-fil-A.
They got Waffle House down
Home
there.
Depot.
So I'm gonna give Georgia Tech a call real quick. Thank you so much for your offer. Hey, Coach, what's going on, man? Coach Collins or whatever. Yeah, they just offered me $750,000 or whatever, $800,000, $900,000 they offered me. Oh, yeah, we got $1 million for you down here. No problem. We'll just have no problem at all. We got $1 million. Okay, hold that thought. I got to call Houston real quick. Hey, Dana and boys down there. Just got $1.52 million offer from Georgia Tech. What are you guys thinking of it? Oh, we got this oil guy.
You get 3.
Hey, how about $3 million? That's no problem for you? $3 million? That's perfect. Go back to first school. Hey, I got $3 million. Holy shit. We can't afford you, it sounds like. Now you're right. Okay, so I'm going to go to Houston then. That, I think, is just happening at a much more rapid rate now, and we're less than a year into this thing. I think it was predicted to be happening with like potential deals that they could definitely lock in. Now it's just signing bonuses as a whole. It's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting because there's a lot of money in some places.
Yeah.
Like USC.
Yep.
USC right now is going to have probably 11 millionaires starting on their offensive side. Okay, 11 millionaires. Which, by the way, fucking A, go get it. And if this generation can handle being millionaires in college and be good at football, more power to it. I could not.
Hats off.
I had $40,000 in loans that I got out just to have a good time, and I could barely get through. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine being a millionaire at this age, but that's what's going to happen, and we're going to start seeing it. I would assume the SEC isn't exactly happy because they've been paying guys a long time, allegedly. But now that other conferences are getting involved, I mean, there's going to be a lot of hypocrisy happening, I think, over the next couple of weeks, and we all have to remember that. But guys are going to get paid. Can't wait to talk to Russ. And then Rupper will join us in the third hour to talk about the NHL because it's happening.
Here we go.
NHL's happening. Bruins. Bruins have the same amount playoff wins as the Detroit Red Wings.
That's fine. Doesn't matter because we've been a home team all year. We're coming back home to the toughest part in the league because we know Vegas has been a fraud since they came into the goddamn NHL. So I'm not worried about it. We're going to turn it around. Swayman will be in net tomorrow night. He will have a shutout tomorrow
You said this
night.
yesterday, so everything comes out of your mouth is potentially
But then they explained on the broadcast, hey, you can't start Swayman in his first playoff, game ever on the road because if he doesn't do well, how's he going to bounce back from that? He can't do it. He's going to do great at home.
That's literally what everybody else said whenever you said that Swayman was starting, though. That's what we're trying to get back to, is you announced him as the starter
Right.
publicly to everybody.
Coronation.
Supposed to be. Because you look at the guy and it's like, holy shit, we have a fucking brick wall in the net.
Speaking of brick wall, Louis Dominguez. We'll talk to Rupper about all this. He predicted the Penguins to lose tonight.
Whoa.
In New York, which,
of a bitch.
by the way, I think every Pens fan allegedly would be happy with a split on the road in the playoffs. But we'll talk to Rupper, former Stanley Cup champion, massive man.
Yeah, huge.
Lumbering gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Very large man, which maybe you should watch your tongue when you're talking to him or about him at Tone Diggs.
I have never said one bad word about the man. I love the man. I just hate the city that he fucking comes from.
Yeah, he said, though, every time he hears you talking about it, he feels like you're talking directly to him, so he asks you to stop, and then you continue to do
Double
such a
down.
thing. And he's a big fucking guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey guy, too. Used to getting, literally punched in the face. Like, that's just a part of their whole thing. Oh, yeah, lads, we punch.
I promise I am not singling out one person in Cleveland. I am talking to every single human being in that. So I guess I'm talking to
Every individual person, yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't live in Cleveland anymore, right?
I talked to him this morning.
'cause
He had
why
a
would you?
Cleveland shirt on. Jeez.
Tony.
Tony. There you go again.
And you wonder why he wants to knock your teeth out.
He loves that
successfully
city.
made money and he got the hell out of there like any sane person would do.
Well,
Whoa,
Would be
Dave
hell of a
Chappelle.
story though if Rupper knocked me out. That'd be awesome.
yeah, it would happen quick, I think.
Yeah, very
I
quick.
do believe it would be pretty
Been
quick.
fucking waiting for AJ to do that to me for, I don't know, goddamn 3 years. and he
Well,
still
we
won't
never
do
see him
it.
in person because he's always in there.
Oh, that's right.
Can't throw a punch. That is the thing about the modern generation is you can't throw a punch through the screen,
Not yet.
which has gotten a lot of people fake tough. And then they're walking around. They're at sporting events. Oh, no. But that would have been a great tweet if this was on the internet. That was awesome. And then the thing about it is, instead of replies, right hooks.
See ya.
Dudes are eating them. That's the difference. So you and AJ, I think if you were around each other on a more regular basis, would have already happened. I
Yeah,
think.
I'm hoping for it. I'm banking on it. Did you see the WWE, to your point, tweeted out a video of the man, Becky Lynch, walking in and some guy booing her, and she stops and looks at him, and then he goes from this to,
Hey. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I did not think you would hear me. I thought I was at my house in my living room still yelling at
It
somebody.
wasn't me. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's insane, the WWE stuff. I was thinking about that with the Chappelle
Oh yeah.
situation. We are in front of a lot of people every single week and have been for a long time now. So impressive that they just sell out fucking arenas, basically. Now, not everyone is a full sellout, but there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people at these live shows every single week, and it goes off, I think, pretty well. I mean, after like 30 years of doing it, it kind of a good flow and good show. Those things are incredible to go to.
Yeah.
Like the thought of that Chappelle thing happening, I was thinking about being in the audience and just like watching it. And I'd probably be, I'd probably no vitamins would have been consumed before that. It was in the Hollywood Bowl in California, going to a Chappelle show. Probably didn't smoke at all.
No, you couldn't.
No way.
Nah, probably never smoked going to
Not in
that.
California.
Probably everybody pretty not high as fuck at that thing.
No.
Everybody pretty sober.
Yeah.
They see that happen. Imagine your first thoughts like in real life as opposed to watching from home. Like at home, you see something like that happen on the internet. You see something like that. But being live, what a wild experience. Like it had to be quite a night for the audience. I mean, we got like 55 different angles, so I guess people are just recording his entire thing, which I'm sure he's not exactly pumped about.
Right.
Yeah.
But that gun knife thing,
That shit was crazy.
is that?
it's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
We talk about that forever. I was there when the fucking guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and with the WWE, that's why like when Seth Rollins, that guy tackled him when he was walking, back up the ramp into the, back was crazy to see, and it's wild that it doesn't happen more because of that.
I wonder if the security at that particular building where Seth Rollins got attacked saw what they were allowed to do to somebody.
Oh.
Because that Chappelle guy,
Yeah.
his head, and then he had a glove on, I believe, and it was attached to a wheeler or whatever, a hospital bed. He looked exactly how you should look if you're that big of a jackass.
Yeah.
You should get your ass beat out there. What a wild fucking world we're in right now.
Well, I think with the WWE stuff, like especially because people who've watched it for so long that you kind of get lost in it, and you maybe think like, hey, I could fucking shoot for his takedown on Seth Rollins. You never see it coming. But then you also see the other side of it when that guy bum rushed the stage at the Hall of Fame on Bret Hart, and they just beat the shit out of him.
The hell out of them.
And I think it is that kind of stuff where it's like, okay, well, same deal,
It never ends well for the person.
No, never.
There has to be
Never.
repercussions.
Could you imagine if somebody
Publicly?
Yes.
Public repercussions have to
Yeah,
happen.
well, then everyone would do it.
I was listening to some comedian do a show. I do remember who it is, but I don't want to put him on blast because I don't want people to think they're an asshole because nobody else in the theater took it as an asshole thing. But there was somebody heckling this one comedian. And instead, the comedian had been around a long time. Heckling not heckling, but like, hey, I love you. Saying that like in the middle of stories or whatever. And it's so interesting because it was a super positive thing. I love you. First couple, like, hey, I appreciate you, love you back. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Hey, there's like, hey, we're doing this. Then, another one happened maybe like 15, 20 minutes later. Hey, calm down. Like 5 minutes later, something happened. It was a full, you need to shut the fuck up. Actually, we need to get you the fuck out of here. Nobody paid in this entire theater arena. Nobody paid to hear your fucking voice. People spent a lot of money, okay, to come to this. They probably won't. I'm probably never coming back. This is probably the first time and last time I'm being in the city for a long time, an entire generation. Nobody paid for you. So shut up. And they kicked the person out. And it was almost like a very, like, oh my God, it's a harsh thing. But 100% right.
Yeah.
It was like nobody else talked the rest of the time. It was just like when I went to that concert
Oh, the Eagles.
the Eagles concert, and I've never sat front row or anything. It was uncomfortable when I'm allowed to stand and when I'm not allowed to stand because there was somebody right behind me that I was definitely blocking. I could barely see shit. They couldn't see shit. And then the lead singer or whatever, who's also the drummer, goes, hey, everybody needs to sit the hell down, all right? Nobody paid to see your back. Like, I think that type of stuff, that's why the people that went to the Chappelle show, like, nobody paid to see a guy with a gun. Like, I just hope that doesn't become a regular thing.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't become a regular thing. Joining us now is a man that we need to see become a regular thing on TV every single day.
Hell yeah.
And I think he is. I'm not 100% sure. I might have been a little disrespectful, but it does feel as if he has come into full superstardom over the last couple months, especially as the NBA has continued to get more and more important. Ladies and gentlemen, Duke legend, NBA stud, host of the Old Man and Three podcast, and an ESPN NBA pundit, JJ Redick. Yeah! What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it. And just to clarify, I had a very limited number of appearances this year in my one-year contract with ESPN. So typically it was only once a week, but now that the playoffs had started, it's a few times a week. So you'll probably be hearing more from me over the next month or so.
Okay. And I wasn't disrespectful.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so I was accurately reading the situation. Okay, that's good. That's good news. Let's talk about yesterday. We have to. Obviously, you gave great basketball insight. Hey, the NBA insight that you're given, I would listen to 10 times out of 10 over anybody else talking about it, other than the other guys that formerly played as well, because you've been there, you've done that. You dunked pretty hard on Chris Mad Dog Russo yesterday. I seen one particular video on Twitter itself. It had over 10 million views by like 6 or 7 p.m. yesterday. So that's probably at 11 million. There you go. Who knows how many other cut-ups or clips made it on Twitter. Then you factor in Instagram, all the different accounts on Instagram. Then you go TikTok. That thing might have been seen 30 to 50 million times yesterday. You are like this right now. What was it like immediately after the show with Chris Mad Dog Russo? And did you all know at the time, like, did Stephen A say, like, all right, that's going to be loud. Like, that one's going to go. Like, what was the aftermath of that entire thing on set?
First of all, what I love about First Take, and I thought I was going to be miserable doing that show, and it's actually my favorite. Part of the reason is because I have no idea what's going to happen on any given day when I go on the show. I have no idea what kind of crazy shit Stephen A is going to say. And I've done it with Mad Dog twice. Last time he said Bob Cousy was the best point guard of all time in the NBA, which I had to push back on that quite a bit. Only with facts. I debated him with facts. And then yesterday, of course, he made a comment in reference to Draymond that I really had to push back against. And, you know, the aftermath, I walked back into the green room and there was a moment where I'm like, oh shit, like this is probably going to go viral.
Yeah.
That's probably, it's not my intention. But again, like what he said in reference to Draymond was, you know, shut up and play. And of course, we've all heard that in reference to athletes before.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I do think there is a certain generation. I think it is a little bit generational that certain people are uncomfortable with athletes being outspoken. But the undertones of that and the connotation of that we are meant strictly for your entertainment purposes, that we are to use our bodies strictly for your entertainment, and we are not allowed to be human and show emotion and talk shit. Like I don't like that at all. And so I just, you know, I could have went a little harder. I think I gently pushed back at Mad Dog. And,
yeah. Seven out of 10.
We were fine after the segment. It was fine. We were fine.
Yeah, lightly, very gently. And you're the guy, right? If I do recall, the last time I talked to you, you went and saw a girlfriend in like Montana or something, or was Minnesota, yeah. And you were just getting some shots up at the local gym, and I guess some people talk shit, and you beat every single one of them, one-on-one or whatever. Like, you are a uber competitive human, which you have to be to become a professional athlete, especially as locked in, and I don't want to say OCD, but I mean, you had perfect form. So the amount of competitive stamina you had to be so high to get to where you were. So I'd assume you view it the same way whenever you get on there. Like, hey, your viewpoint's wrong, I am right, and you then have to lay it out. Is that how you feel when you go in there? And do you think you've ever had a bad day on there? Because I don't think you have, right? I don't think there's been a day where you've gone on there and it's been like, JJ Redick is fucking wrong. JJ Redick needs to shut up. I don't think I've heard that once. That has to feel pretty good. You're walking in there like literally, okay, I'm undefeated around here. That has to feel pretty good, peacocking around.
I'm comfortable admitting when I'm wrong. And I've certainly, in my first year of really being part of the media, and I've obviously had a podcast for years, but being part of the media, I've admitted when I was wrong. The thing about First Take that's so different is that it is set up as a debate show. And so it really is competitive. Like, you want to put on a good performance. And I get up for it. I mean, that is the show that I look forward to doing. There's like a running joke in a bunch of my group texts with buddies and some former teammates, where it's like, if I'm going on First Take, I'm going viral that day. I don't know. Like, again, that's my intention. I don't go on the show to go viral. It just, what I think I've found is there has been a sort of a paradigm about how athletes are talked about how legacies are talked about. And what I brought to that show is a new perspective on that because of my firsthand experience being an athlete, and because honestly, I'm just such a fan of athletes. I'm a fan first, and I have such amount of respect for my contemporaries and my peers that I have sort of flipped that paradigm of how they are talked about.
By the way, I have completely agree with everything you say there. And I think First Take has become a perfect landing spot for you. It's almost perfect for you with the way you've been built. Not only because you're uber competitive, but your resume is good. What, you didn't make the playoffs one time or whatever? Didn't make the playoffs one time. And then if you want to talk college ball too, it's like one of the greatest players of all time. So your resume can't get checked. Like you're good, like in that particular aspect. So it's almost a perfect place for JJ Redick with everything you've accomplished and been through, friendships, what you've seen firsthand, successful teams, you've seen bad, not successful teams, you've been at the top, you've been at the bottom. Like that's a perfect recipe for you, I think. You know, that's why every fucking time you go on there, you go viral, just like all your group texts have said.
You know what's probably most important to me? Well, first of all, there's a credibility that I have because I lived it.
Resume, yeah.
And by the way, the year I didn't make the playoffs was the bubble year, and had the season not got interrupted, we probably would have made the playoffs that year because we had the easiest schedule going forward. But that's another topic.
Kind of got robbed. Kind of got robbed a little bit.
Another topic. But anyways, what I think is most important to me is the feedback that I've gotten from players, and again, I'm just being myself. Like I say I'm pro player, but like that's not necessarily an agenda. It's not an agenda. I'm legitimately reacting to something in real time because look, the format of the show, you know, we talk to the producers, they give you a question and it's like go from there. And these blocks are 12 to 15 minutes. And the question could be something as simple as, you know, was the NBA's fine on Kyrie for flipping the bird justified? Oh. Now, on the surface, that could be a 60-second conversation, but on that show, it never is. The show goes wherever you want it. So I'm always reacting in real time. So I can come prepared. I can have notes, but the things I've said and the things that have gone viral, I swear to God, all of them have been completely organic. And that's what I think people are responding to.
I think my favorite question is, was it disrespectful for insert situation? Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, all right, what? Because the level of respect or disrespect is just so vast. And you could talk yourself into being like, well, if that happens, then that also happens. I think that's why, especially with Stephen A. there, it has had so much success. And we are thankful that you're on there, both as internet humans and people that have it on the screen. Let's move to some NBA chatter, shall we? I'm not going to debate you. I'd like to learn from you. But if I think you're wrong, I'm going to say, hey, JJ, fuck you, all right? Luka needs to get on a better team, JJ. What is going on? Luka needs to get on a better team. What else is going on around the NBA?
Ja's a dog.
Celtics are dead. Does that mean the Nets are terrible? Oh, my God. Are the Nets that bad that the Celtics blew them out and then they're getting killed now? Like, Jay, what is going on, JJ?
Pat, come on, man.
Yes, sir.
Don't get caught up in being a prisoner of the moment. Don't get caught up in being a prisoner. I will say about Luka, because I've talked about this a bunch over the last couple of days, and I talked about it yesterday on ESPN, and I literally just finished doing a very high-level basketball conversation with Tim Legler for the podcast, who I absolutely adore him and the work he does at ESPN. And we talked about Luka, and I think one of the challenges about building around Luka is the nature of how Luka plays, because Luka is so in control and he's able to manipulate and control every single possession offensively that he inherently has to have the ball in his hands a lot. So unless it is a strict 1-5 pick and roll where he's going downhill and throwing a lob pass to, let's say, Dwight Powell, on every other possession, he's surveying, he's scanning. And so a lot of times for his teammates, you're waiting for him to then make his final move, his chess move. It's like he's playing chess. He's reading the board. And when he makes his move, you may only have 5 seconds, 4 seconds to really make something happen. So I think it's to me, it's not he needs to be on a better team. They need to figure out the right personnel to sort of build around him, because especially when you get in the playoffs with him, I mean, we've seen the numbers. It's historic what he's done in his playoff runs in terms of points per game. I think he's either tied or ahead now of Jordan as the all-time leading scorer, points per game in the playoffs. And, of course, he's given you 8+ assists, 8+ rebounds, all that. So for a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie, who also needs the basketball, or Jalen Brunson, who also needs the basketball, at times it can be a little off late in the possession.
Okay, so let's try. You broke up there at the end, but your point very valid, and I appreciate that. Hey, it was high-level basketball.
That was high-level.
That was high-level basketball.
Yeah.
I felt like I went into a lobby, fucking hit the elevator button, right to the top.
Boom.
Basketball conversation. High level. I'm up there in the penthouse, so I appreciate you doing that and laying it out like chess and everything. So what do you think he needs? Set shooter and then a big five? Like kind of like what they tried to do in Philly with Harden and Joel? Is that what you think would best suit him, or is that not necessarily something that's just easily figure-outable? What do you say?
I apologize, guys, for this Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on here, but so on the five man, I like the idea of him with a sort of that now modern five, not the multifaceted five like a Jokic or an Embiid, but the modern five of a rim-running, rim-protecting five, a la Clint Capella, a la Jared Allen. Like, that to me is the best five that he could play with, not a five who needs the ball in the post and who needs to be able to, survey the court as well. To me, the best complement to him on the court would be a big wing who also can score. I think of guys, and again, I'm not saying the Mavs can go get this guy, but when I think about team building and sort of how they view assets and how they view building around Luka for the next decade, like I think of a guy like Brandon Ingram or a guy like Jason Tatum. I mean, these guys are all stars, of course. I'm not saying they can go get them, but to me, those type of guys that can guard multiple positions, they can knock down threes off the ball and can score themselves, those are the guys that, to me, would be the ultimate complement to him on the court.
Let's talk about Ja Morant in Memphis. Is this because, I mean, obviously the Golden State team, electrifying. They are awesome, even though they seem to be missing a lot of shots. I mean, ESPN showing every single Klay Thompson miss.
Yeah.
I've seen every single shot that he has missed. Some of them are bad. Did not expect that, especially after his meeting with Jackie Moon, but I've seen every single one. This Memphis team, though, did everybody know Ja was going to be this guy that he is right now? And how far can they actually go just strictly off of like, yeah, we're bigger dogs than you are? Like, how far can you go with that?
If we look at last year's playoffs, he was awesome in that first round series against the Jazz. Memphis was the 8 seed, Jazz were the 1 seed. Clearly, Jazz were the better team, but he had some huge games. And then this year, he made this incredible leap. He was already a star, and now he's a singular force, like a superstar that can elevate a team into a championship contender. And it's interesting to sort of gauge where they are in real time, because I sort of lived this in 2009 with my Magic team when we had Dwight Howard entering his prime and made that run to the finals. Like, you don't really know how good you are in the moment.
Okay.
Because you don't have the historical precedent of something you've done in the past. They
we
lost
don't know.
4-1 in the first round last year. And so I guess I'm a pundit or an analyst now. Like, it's hard to gauge in real time. With the Warriors, I know. With the Bucks, I know. With the Suns, I know. With the Celtics, I know, because those core groups have already done it. And so that's, I think, what makes watching the Grizzlies sort of figure this out in real time so exciting. And Ja, to me, I've said this a number of times this season. If you get, NBA tickets are expensive, and I like to be close to the floor. So
On
you gave me
the wood.
$1,000.
JJ Redick's on the wood.
$1,000. I said, you got $1,000 to buy an NBA ticket to watch one guy play. Unequivocally, I'm picking Ja Morant. I'm picking Ja Morant. He is the most exciting player in the NBA right now.
Yeah, and they're having the same conversation you're having, by the way. They're like, can you beat this next team? Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, like they just are kind of, it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. It's a gift. Yeah. It's a complete gift.
We had one of their guys on the podcast at the end of January, early February, and they were clearly a great team at that point. And it was Desmond Bain, and he talked about that. He's like, we feel that way. We don't know what we don't know. We have the swagger. We have the confidence. We're a team full of guys that just have this ultimate belief. And those teams, when you get in the playoffs, and when you have a guy like Ja who has the ultimate belief in himself,
Bro,
he believes
floats.
every time he's the greatest player, and he can make the difference in a win or a loss. Like, those teams are really dangerous.
He can float. It's awesome to watch. Honestly, it is. I don't know. They'll probably have, NBA Twitter is awesome. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's an active place. So I don't ever want to say like absolutes and then just get completely roasted in there. Somebody probably can jump higher, but it feels like it's been a long time since we've just seen somebody float through the fucking sky like he does. You know, I don't understand it at all. It's one of the most incredible feats of athleticism every time I see. And then the grace with the ball. It's just it's unbelievable to watch him. You're 100% right. I'd like to see him live.
When I was a kid, I had this T-shirt. And it was very poorly printed, it wasn't even name brand because we couldn't afford name brand shit. I think I got it at TJ Maxx. Oh, yeah. But the T-shirt said something along the lines. It was a picture of a basketball player jumping in the air, and it said like, "I just elevate and then decide in the air." Now, for me, that was probably the most inaccurate T-shirt I've ever. But every time I watch Ja Morant, for some reason, I think of that T-shirt. Because you watch him play, and he's able to blow by his primary defender, and when he gets to the lane and he meets a five-man, he meets a center, he meets a big wing at the paint, he just elevates, and then he figures it out once he's in the air, and that's to me that's like there's certain characteristics or certain aspects of a player that make them so attractive and engaging and interesting. And to me, it's that fearlessness that he has, that he's just going to launch himself in the air at any angle against any player, and he's just going to figure it out. Like, I believe in my ability enough that I'm going to suspend myself in the air 44 inches against 7 feet people that are twice the size, twice the mass, and I'm just going to figure it out. Yeah. I fucking love that.
I wonder at what age he learned he could do that. That had to be so much fun if he could do that in high school or college. I think he's had like a massive amount of development, but as soon as you find out you can do that, that has to be so much fun. Like you can't wait to get in there, basically. It's a guaranteed, it's a block, basically, every single time, because he's finding a way around and off to the side of somebody. And he has it's fucking incredible to watch him. Go ahead, Ty.
JJ, there's been rumors coming out that it's not like a done deal that Zion's going to get a supermax with the Pelicans. And then with all the stuff we've seen this year with them saying he's not ready, him posting, him dunking and doing windmills and through the legs and 360s and all that kind of shit. Do you think at this point it's better for them to just have a clean break and for him to get out of there and kind of try it somewhere else? Like, what really is going on with Zion and the Pelicans?
I actually don't think it's better to have a clean break. So there's two aspects of this, and this was similar, I think, to the Ben situation in Philly. You know, when you have a guy who is on his rookie contract, who's clearly at an all-star, all-NBA level, you're not going to get back equal value if you trade his rookie contract. And you're certainly not in a position where you would lose an asset of that magnitude for nothing by letting him walk in free agency. My expectation is they'll offer him some sort of max, and that'll be the second part, some sort of max. And if there is a agreement or an understanding that, hey, I want to part, we want to part, then all of a sudden you can get back sort of equal value for him. On the extension side, I think if you're the Pelicans, you have to sign him to an extension. If you're Zion, given the injury history, you have to sign the extension as well. Brian Windhorst reported this the other day, and I don't think this is any surprise here.
Windy!
I would look for them to structure the Supermax extension in the same way that Joel Embiid's Supermax was structured after his third year. He'd only played in 31 games. He signed that in training camp the year I got to Philly, and there were all sorts of protections in there on the third, fourth, fifth year based on the amount of games played. So that's my expectation. He'll get the Supermax, but it'll be with some sort of protection for the team.
What did you say about Zion? You're pissed off at him about something? Hold on. That became a big story because every time you speak, it goes viral. You said that he was a standoffish teammate or something because he didn't hit up CJ McCollum or something. Didn't you say that? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said that. I said in my no. By the way, again, every time this gets brought up, because I've been asked about this after the first take, and I want to be clear because sometimes on social media they cut clips.
That's exactly why I asked her. Yes.
I know you guys won't put me in a vulnerable position because I trust you guys. But I want to be clear. Everything that I said on that clip that went viral in regards to Zion, I had said to his face. Like, we had conversations about that. I addressed it in front of the team my first year there. So, yeah, there were moments I would describe him as a standoffish teammate, not a bad teammate. I want to be clear on that, not a bad teammate.
Okay.
The issue was, like, the guy was away from his team. They traded for C.J. McCollum. C.J. played in 5 or 6 games before the All-Star break. And then at All-Star break, they asked C.J. on TNT, who's, by the way, he's the president of the union. So that's why he was doing this hit on TNT. They asked him about, what have you and Zion talked about? He said, actually, I haven't talked to Zion. And I had an issue with that because I think there's a basic decorum as a teammate. And that's whether you're a guy like me who's the, whatever, at times the 5th most important guy or the 8th or the 12th, whatever. You reach out to new teammates. Like, that's just part of being an NBA player. And so that's what I sort of took issue with. And they also obviously have spoken at this point.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. I would assume. Is that just because Zion's like an introvert? Do you think Zion's happy about the way any of this has gone? Because he gave an interview, he was smiling, he gave like, I can't wait to play next year or whatever. Like, how do you think they've gotten to this point? I mean, because if he goes to like Memphis or if he goes to any other team, it would be like Zion would be on TV a lot more, which is crazy to think that Memphis is going to have much more primetime games than New Orleans would with Zion, but that's going to happen next year going forward. It's like, do you think the Zion camp not happy about potential lack of, or how this whole thing has gone? And just in your viewpoint, because you were part of the team, obviously, Duke, and you're kind of, you know the NBA much better than anybody else. Like, how was that ugly at any point? Do you think this last season, did that get bad?
Well, so I actually don't buy the sort of market idea as New Orleans being this small market where he's not going to get the national exposure, because Zion is such an interesting player and such a unique player and came in with so much hype and attention. My first year there, they were not a good team. They had the number 1 pick in the lottery. Like, we had a ton of nationally televised games. They restructured the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
So Zion could be in the bubble. They put the non-playoff teams in the bubble so that they could have Zion in the bubble. Like, he is as important from a marketing standpoint in any market to the NBA. So I just don't buy that argument that he needs to go to a different team. And if you look, there are certainly the teams, the Lakers, the Knicks, of course, the big markets, they're going to get their games. But if you look at Golden State, when I first got in the league, they didn't have a ton of nationally televised games. Now they're one of the premier teams that gets talked about every day on ESPN, that gets the nationally televised games. So it to me, it's, you got to be good, but you also have to be interesting. You have to have a following and a
Zion.
And Zion has that. Zion could go play in fucking Akron. Zion, it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to show his games.
Do you think that what's the deal with him, though? What is the deal? He wanted to play. They didn't want him to play?
Zion's an introvert. He's a self-confessed introvert. He told his story on the podcast. It was like one of the most beautiful moments we've had on the podcast. When he was in high school, he had to write a poem, and he described the poem on the podcast. And basically, there were 2 parts to the poem. There was this guy who was super famous, and and super adulated anywhere he went, had to ask for pictures, got asked for pictures, got asked for autographs. And then there was this other guy who just kind of wanted to be left alone and liked solitude and didn't like the attention. And then at the end of the poem, he's like, what if I told you it's the same guy? And that to me sort of encapsulates Zion. Like, Zion, because he's so good and has such a marketable skill and such a marketable charisma and personality, I think that's a struggle. And look, he's young. Like, Pat, like you were around guys that were naturally introverted who were really fucking good. And at that age, I lived that on a much smaller extent at Duke. And we talked about this last time I was on the show. That was a really hard time in my life to sort of balance all of that and figure that out in real time.
I feel like when he wrote that poem, a lot of people learned a lot about Zion too.
Yeah.
Oh damn, this guy hates all this. Right? All right, we gotta get you. So we gotta get you away from everything. I hope he goes on to have massive success. We've been massive supporters from the beginning. Go ahead,
As
Connor.
do
Yeah, JJ, Dylan Brooks had the foul on Gary Payton II, and then Steve Kerr said in the postgame that there's kind of a code in the NBA. What is that code, and is Steve Kerr like a shining example of the code? Because there's a few tweets floating around that kind of not lead, but don't think that Steve Kerr is an example of the code.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna. I don't even know what the tweets are. So
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
They were out there. A lot of retweets.
All right. So I agree with what Steve said, and I'll add on to it by saying when you get to the playoffs, every team, whether it's the coaches or the players amongst themselves, you pretty much institute a no layup rule. And if you look at that specific play, Dylan Brooks is obviously way behind Gary Payton II. And when he sort of makes that lunge, that move to try to make a play and foul, I think both of them end up in what I would describe as like a vulnerable position. The problem is when you're the jumper and you've got that forward momentum, you're going to get hurt. And we saw that earlier this year when Alex Caruso went up for a dunk against the Bucks, and Grayson Allen made that dirty follow through that threw him to the ground, and Alex broke his wrist. So that as a player, like I never thought about if I couldn't make a play once a guy jumped, I'm out. Like I'm making a business decision for both of us. I don't want to get dunked on, and I don't want you to fall on your head. We talk about Memphis all the time on the podcast, and anytime I get a chance on ESPN to do it, I talk about Memphis because I love their team, I love their swagger, and Dylan Brooks, as much as Ja's swagger is an important part of their identity, Dylan's is as well. And so I'm a big Dylan Brooks fan. I don't think he's a dirty player, but to me that was a dirty play, and there's a difference between the two.
100%. It's whether it's a routine play for him or if it happens every once in a while. And the interesting thing about it all is it feels like the NBA players look out for each other more than anybody else. It feels like the NBA players, like the union's better than anybody else. It feels like there's a lot of, am I wrong in thinking that? It feels like you guys are the tightest group of athletes when it comes to sports.
Yeah,
there's not that many of you guys. There's not that many of you guys.
I can't speak to other unions. I can speak to my experience and even my experience in retirement. Like there's such a bond that we share. And a lot of that I think is because all of us grew up playing with each other in high school AAU and against each other in high school and AAU. We lived in dorm rooms all summer. We lived in hotel rooms all summer together. And so, there's an inherent, I think, respect that we have amongst each other once we get to the NBA, and the competition is fierce. And like there were guys that I fucking hated. Like I hated not just playing against. Like I legitimately hated certain guys. I thought fucking awful, but again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about now in the media, like my viewpoint is shaped by that experience, and so I'm always going to lean heavy on the side of the player, and the feedback that I've gotten from guys I played with or guys that I'm friends with, like, has been really positive.
Yeah, I think I think other sports look at the basketball players and the way business is done and how everybody kind of sticks together. It's a smaller group than a lot of other sports, but it is a cool one to watch as this sports business continues to evolve. Another tight crew is the Duke alumni. You know what I mean? Duke alumni, real tight. You know what I mean? You guys have high level. Brother, absolutely. You guys all wear the same shirts and shit? You guys go to that game? Man, how'd that happen there, JJ? JJ, how do we lose that last game to UNC and Coach K's last home game? How's that?
Hey guys, we're running tight on time here.
All right. Hey, who's going to win it all this year, JJ? Who's going to win it all?
All right. So, it's hard to make predictions. And obviously with the injuries, it feels like every series, some star players getting hurt. I've said this for a couple months. I've felt like we're headed for a rematch of last year's finals where it's Suns Bucks.
No way.
Now the Chris Middleton injury has put a little bit of a damper on that for me. So I can't. I have no prediction. Like, I'm just a fan now watching Celtics Bucks. So my prediction is the winner of that series plays the Suns in the finals.
Celtics.
And I've got the best team in basketball winning it all this year. I've got the Suns winning it all.
Oh, Point Guard was trending last night.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's doing his thing. We can't thank you enough, JJ. Keep killing it. Keep crushing it. The podcast is great, as is life. Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN NBA pundit, superstar, viral legend, JJ Redick. Thank you, JJ. Hour 1 wrapping up here on Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Oh, that's right.
I thought about that halfway through the conversation. I completely forgot. Oh.
I'm biased.
Hour 2 on the other side. Can't wait to chat about other stuff in the NFL. Yeah. Great. Hit it right on screen.
Nailed it.
I didn't even think it, like literally halfway through it, because she said, I've worked with Mad Dog a couple times, and I was like, oh, he's probably worked with Mad Dog more than us, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
And then I thought, oh, we do. Oh, we're on that right now.
Oh, shit.
As he's talking, I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. Interesting, mindset going into First Take, because if it's anything like some of the other conversations that happen in, those production meetings before the show. Hey, what's your thoughts on Tom Brady?
Tom Brady's a pretty good player. He's probably going to go down as the greatest of all time, but right now he's kind of losing it, Pat.
Okay, cool. No, let's say that Joe's asking this question. Joe then comes to me and goes, Pat, what are your thoughts? Yeah, I think he's the greatest of all time. I think he's really good. I think everything that's said about him is warranted. Then they go to Ty, and Ty goes, he's the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. I hate him. They're like, bing, okay, all right. So, Ty?
You two are going to be facing off.
Exactly. That's kind of how it goes. Like, honestly, so the entire thought of how much you say before those shows, too, in those meetings, how much you don't. And I think that's what JJ was alluding to. Like, hey, this isn't just like a 60-second conversation. These things can go like multiple minutes in there. And you're being set up to go in to win this particular debate.
Well, and I think that's why people who just watch it casually probably enjoy it a little bit more now that they have like the rotating panel, because it used to be just they'd go topic into topic into topic, and it'd be like, okay, well, this, like, he doesn't fucking believe what he's saying. This is just for argument's sake. It's like, it's just being pissed to be pissed, and whoever's loudest wins. But now they actually are bringing in people who are passionate about the shit they're talking about. So like,
it's sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Talking sports. Well, still, hey, listen, Jordan LeBron needs to be addressed.
True.
Every
do
day.
it.
Like once a week.
Brady versus LeBron.
C block if you need it every day.
C-Block, that's another thing.
What are the Cowboys doing?
Hey, they've had a lot of success with those shows.
Oh yeah.
Stephen A is a stud.
Yes.
He is. He brings it. I mean, he's like 20 years into this, 30 years into this thing.
Yeah.
Every time he's on camera, he brings it.
Yeah, and he mixes in some other stuff too. Like he was talking about Stephon Marbury over the weekend, and it was very funny.
He goes from most loved to most hated man on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
He turns heel babyface multiple times a day almost.
No problem.
On the internet, and just keeps it moving. Video surface of him throwing punches, it's terrible.
Oh, it's bad.
Just keeps it moving.
Doesn't care.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I got a wet jumper if you need it.
Yeah.
I got film. No worries. He's good. I like Stephen A.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. The rotating cast has been fantastic because every once in a while Orlovsky will go in there. I would like to see them just kind of walking into that room like Stephen A. like, welcome to my office. What a fucking situation that has to be.
The
that has to be
intros.
amazing.
They did the intros when Michael Irvin started doing it too. Where like before the show they would play music and have him walk in and do an entire like entrance thing, and it was hilarious.
The football. I can't wait for the football season.
Oh,
I know.
How many days?
125 days. Actually, 18 weeks from today is the opening night.
Don't say it like that.
I know.
Full fucking football season.
I know. 4.5 months.
But think about how fast
18
football season
weeks.
goes.
Yeah, well, it does fly by.
And
Because
it'll be
football's
summer.
going on.
Summer flies by.
Summer flies by. We got NBA,
Is it?
NHL
I mean, have you been
playoffs.
walking into these shows every single day with the things we have to?
Yeah,
things
the
are just
great
flying.
shows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 10 seconds on the clock. Hey, what's the biggest story today? Fuck, I don't know.
Full discussion. Debo followed
That's
the
right.
49ers.
Wow,
Huge.
Holy shit!
Okay, we'll talk about that in the next hour with AJ Hawk. That's a big deal in 2022. And people can bash it all they want. It's real.
Yeah.
You might not understand it, Chris Mad Dog Russo.
Tight
Okay?
stripes.
Yeah.
You might not understand it, but that's a big fucking thing.
Massive.
When you unfollow somebody, gun! From my life.
Don't want them.
All right, you're allowed back in.
All right, never mind.
You're
I like
most personal, by the way. That's right in your hand. That's really close. Don't want to see this shit. I don't care who you draft. I don't care who you sign. I don't care about a throwback Thursday of me and George Kittle doing what we did all year, being your entire offense. I don't want to see it. I'm unfollowing.
See ya.
So whenever the decision comes, you go, all right, welcome back.
Kind of miss them.
That's a big deal.
Oh, can you imagine how jacked up they were this morning when they saw that?
Oh, notification.
We got him! We got him!
We're back! Notification heard around Santa Clara, California.
Yeah.
Holy shit! There's probably text messages that were sent.
Mm-hmm.
What? Who talked to him last? Yeah. Who deserves a raise? Got Tebow back in the building. We'll talk about that next hour with AJ Hawk. Also, Ross Dellinger. We'll dive into an NIL conversation nobody else is having. We're going to showcase the brains a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bingo.
Like you.
That's it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah,
Thank you,
hopefully
brains.
good.
See you in about 5. Cheers.
Hell of a machine.
310J, dude.
Oh, top of the line.
That's when they were singing about being sexy.
That's right.
The 310J, when somebody saw it, that's sexy, and he was like, the country
Yeah,
music,
they-
you're
yeah,
right.
it is.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. Oh, look at that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, that's got a good cockpit in there.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the Pope Mobile with all the glass around the top there, but it ain't no Pope Mobile because this one's fucking breaking grind. Hell yeah.
Party in the front, business in the back, am I right?
Well, I do believe we got business,
Business
all
on both
sides.
ends.
That's right.
Yeah, the plot down there in the front is, although a good time. It is a good time to get that thing going.
Fun.
Business is being handled, dude.
Everyone's getting plot.
And then on the back side, you know, whenever you start cracking earth,
Oh, yeah.
oh my
You
god.
need the excavator back there, the big dog.
And you know the thing about the seat on this 310J, it turns.
Yeah.
It does.
So it's always in the front. You know, whatever you're working on, business can be on the front, both sides.
That's right.
Controls all around.
We worried about those front tires?
No,
No,
not at
that's
all.
how they roll.
No, they survive anything.
Those are standard Deere backhoe tires.
Look at the back
Someone like you
tires,
might be worried
Foxy.
about
Yeah, exactly. Foxy.
I am just asking questions.
Foxy, it ain't about the front wheels. It's always about the back.
That's right.
All right, because these rear wheel powered vehicles that you would never
Yeah,
understand.
you don't know anything about that, Foxy.
You have no
I
idea.
would not know.
Wake up.
I got friends that know. I don't know.
Listen, when you're drifting gears, okay, on a rear wheel, especially if they're 600 some ponies,
What?
you got to watch for like any, you know, plot holes or debris.
Of course.
Because you can and then hit a tree. Because the back end kicks out. And then you won't drive that car ever again. Because how are you not supposed to drift it? And I guess, how are you not supposed to hit another tree?
Yeah.
Right.
That's my life. Doesn't have to be yours, though. Thank you, Andrew, for calling from the 310J. That's a beautiful piece of machinery.
It is.
Gorgeous.
Take that thing another round. Oh, look at that thing prop itself up.
Lift
Yeah.
kit.
That's why the wheels don't matter in the front, pal.
Yeah.
Go lift your- Wee-Man so active. Oh, look at this. Body slam. Wee-Man body slamming Sami Zayn. Wee-Man used to kick himself in the face. Are you kidding me? Now he's body slamming Sami Zayn. What are you going to do to change and make Tua better? Have you got into that? This is very early in the whole process, and you're shaking hands, kissing babies right now, and you're a 0-win head coach that everybody loves.
0 wins.
0 win, but what are you thinking about that for Tua? How do you make him better?
We're going to start with scoring more points than the opponent.
Wow! Holy shit.
Oh, no.
You are changing the game.
Changing the game
Yeah.
through math.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think there's... I was just so fortunate in my career to be around the process of how I look at things with the empowerment of the right teachers that I look backwards, forwards, okay? What things do I see that are really awesome about his game on tape, even though we're at.
He's accurate as hell.
Boom! That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just. You were leading me. That's how you should do this. Maybe
Dude,
think about it in the
yeah.
future. But he's
should,
accurate.
Or we should just spend the time finishing each other's
sentences.
Oh, okay.
Hey, have we known each other for
our whole lives?
Oh my god.
You tell
me.
Wow.
This is weird.
Dude.
Whoa,
Seems like you guys just became.
Dude.
Wow, this is fucking weird, AJ.
Bro.
Hey, this is.
Did we swap skins?
Wow, we learned a lot about yours, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to hour 2 of this happy Cinco de Mayo version of the Pat McAfee Show, a sports talk show hosted by Stooges. Now we go. Yeah! Right on time there with the beat drop from Twine, an absolutely incredible human being, as is the toxic table that is held down by at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Boys, we were just talking about it, and Ty, you really don't have a horse in the race because the Las Vegas Golden Knights are currently crumbling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
big
bit.
time.
Right in front of all of our eyes. So are the Boston Bruins.
Well,
Yes, they are.
Lost last night to the Hurricanes in devastating fashion.
Yeah.
And Pasternak did not score the first goal.
He didn't.
Pasternak seems to not really care about Boston anymore.
Well-
Right.
And Bruins fans are all of a sudden becoming the loudest Celtics fans of all time.
That's
Bingo.
not true.
That's what's going
Well
on
said.
in Boston.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Bruins
That's
did-
hockey talk, by the way.
Boston did try and take out the Carolina
Yeah.
goalie.
I saw him, yeah, he kicked him.
Scumbag.
He's throwing fucking haymakers at the goalie because, he's trying to get the boys riled up. You can't knock the guy for, trying to swing the momentum a little bit. And all Bruins fans are Celtics fans. We're joint grouped
Now,
together.
Focus turns on social media between whoever's doing better.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And they can feel that. The Bruins boys can
They
feel it.
know.
That's why they're kind of...
No, that's why they're pumped because they know their fucking superstar Swayman in the back is going to be coming in and everybody's going to be like, holy shit, the Swayman is in? Yeah, let's go to the cup.
Way to go, man.
Did Pasta score a hat trick last night, or they have not scored 3 goals against the Caniacs all year
They've
long?
never scored fucking 3 goals against the Caniacs.
You guys,
And the
you can't win.
No, we
Not
can
in
win.
the NHL.
No.
The fucking Caniacs steal everything, every cool gimmick that's out
do you
there.
mean?
They're fucking doing the skull after the game. The Caniacs are a bunch of frauds. Terrible sports town.
Well, to what you're saying about them stealing everything, they have Bill Cowher giving them motivational speeches
Exactly.
before games. That's a Pittsburgh coach.
That was
can't
that was a
happen.
tough moment. It was actually against the Pens that he.
What?
Whoa, whoa. Carr's a
That's-
traitor?
I don't think that's true. It was also like 10 years ago.
Bill Cowher from Crafton?
It was against the Pens. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Oh no.
Bro,
Car
This is when Bill moved down to Carolina and the full court press was on. The Panthers were trying to get him to coach the team. The Hurricanes
But he didn't.
brought him in. No, he just
he just wanted a nice lake
Just a little
house?
rain
Is
siren.
that what he wanted on Lake Norman down
pumped
there?
up the Caniacs.
What the fuck is going on? I didn't know that was taking place. So, yeah, they are stealing everybody's. I mean, kind of savage of the Canes.
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of just say, hey, that's cool. We're going to do that. That's awesome. We're going to do that. Welcome home. We'll give you a house. Get tickets anytime you want.
Fucking sellout move.
Just motivate us against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
bring
the
it in,
Steelers
Carr.
fans hate the Penguins. That's why Tony doesn't like the
That's not
Penguins.
true.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
That's not true.
That's not true what you just said.
You hate them.
Joining us
That's not
now
true.
is a man who is a fan of the Colorado Avalanche, I believe.
Allegedly, yeah.
He's a college football national champion, a Green Bay Packer champion, a Ryder Cup champion, a COVID survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron James Hawk. Happy Cinco de Mayo, AJ.
Oh yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo, guys. You are you celebrating tonight?
Well, we already started, huh? A little Terramana.
What?
Never too early in the morning for Terramana.
Has Dwayne been posting? I would imagine it's a big day for him.
Well, he was in the Iron Paradise last night, please. Probably writing season 3 of Young Rock and also launching his superhero movie.
Black Adam.
I mean, he's celebrating Cinco de Mayo, though. He's got the best tequila in the game. How could you not?
I believe the XFL also announced today that they're going on a nationwide tour this summer, hitting 6 cities.
Doing what?
I don't know, just spreading the game. Dewey's fucking committed to it. 6
I think
cities.
open like tryouts.
Okay, so they're renting like a local stadium.
You got to do it, Connor.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll be there with my fucking helmet on. I gotta get out of the hockey accent, sorry, and throwing the pigskin around.
Hockey accent. Not Canada.
Do your football accent now, Connor.
No football accents. Football is just cold blood,
That's
steel.
you. Yeah, that's you.
Sure.
So they're doing tryouts at 6 cities, and Dwayne Johnson's going to all of them this summer. We're heading to 6 cities across the United States for the hashtag XFL showcases. Each event provides prospective football players the opportunity to show our coaches and personnel directors how they unleash the dreams of football makes possible.
Yikes.
What was that sentence there?
Yikes.
Let's go back. Did I read that wrong? Go back up. Each event provides prospective football players the opportunity to show our coaches and personnel directors how they unleash the dreams football makes possible. Oh, okay. Yeah. Each event provides prospective football players the opportunity to show our coaches and personnel directors how they unleash the dreams of football makes possible.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's an interesting sentence.
Open tryout.
I mean, yeah, it's an open trial, but I guess I don't know what happened.
Legally, you don't want to say open tryouts or something.
Is
it
this
sounds
scroll
like.
thing an Elon thing? Picture scroll thing?
Yeah, I think the new Twitter is. I think Twitter is changing right in front of our eyes, but it couldn't have been an Elon decision, right? Because Elon couldn't have been in there this quick.
He hasn't even taken over yet.
Yeah, because they also changed the video thing.
So is old Twitter just fucking unloading everything they had? This is what we made, by the way. This is what we wanted to become over the next 10 years. This is what we wanted to do. Elon's going to come in here, serve as CEO immediately, and fire everybody, like Kendall Roy did to the Volter program.
That's right.
There it is.
I've seen this feature before.
Hey, he gutted Volter.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Ruthless.
If you have like a website and then you have you're able to put photos on there and it shows up like this.
So because we don't have a website, we never get the opportunity. That's interesting. We're an internet company with literally no website. I mean, there is a website. We have real estate on the internet, but it is not operable. We have a store website. It is operable, but that is it. So it does affect us whenever we do stuff like this. What are they going to start charging for, I wonder? How much are they going to charge?
You said you may charge like corporations and companies or politicians, I feel like.
Yeah, I assume that's us, pal. I assume my Twitter account is going to get hey, you like what you're doing around here? You like this place?
Here you go.
Here you go.
Why, but how much could it be, though?
Well, what if they're like 15%? What if it's like the corner?
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
No, I do wonder how they will do the scale system. They should. I mean, there's a lot of ways to make money off Twitter. That's one of them, by the way. Like, hey, that is definitely one of them. That once you monetize real estate on Twitter, then you're really asking for the conglomerates to continue to take over what was once independent. Twitter was kind of an independent operation thing. The people with a bigger bank behind them will obviously win if you're able to purchase more real estate, just like in the real estate world. So they would have to balance that, especially Elon, who's a champion of entrepreneurs and everything like that. So that will have to get figured out. I'm just, once you start changing that, then the algorithm is something again then, right? Then the algorithm is something. It's just more for a paid one.
Well, I mean, don't you feel like, though, everything that he has said, like, he's not going to make Twitter worse?
That's what I'm saying. And I think, by the way,
he just raised $7 billion, too.
$7 billion, which is nothing compared to the $46 billion he spent to buy this thing.
But I'm saying he raised $7 billion for Twitter for this whole Twitter deal. So Larry Ellison, one dude gave $1 billion himself.
Yeah, I saw somebody gave like $500 million and they were touting it as a big deal. And I'm like, $500 million is nothing compared to $46 billion. Mm-hmm. And it's just so much money that he paid for that platform. But the people paying for blue checks is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, which, by the way, if you can get $2 from somebody to get a blue check each month, like you can act like it's a legitimized account, and then that gets more. Like, that's an easy way to get done. They could charge everybody $1 a month if they wanted to do Twitter and just make so much money just very quickly, and it'd become an auto pay thing. People wouldn't even remember they were doing it, and that's just collecting fees. Now, if that was rolled out, everybody would say, this fucking guy, he's trying to rob from people. He's trying to steal Twitter from people, which I guess it would, but he said it'll always be a free platform. He'll have to figure out how to take money from people in other fashions, but The XFL getting to do that is awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It does not
Can't
say
wait.
that Dwayne Johnson will be there, though, does it?
No, I don't think. I think it's just
He
his.
might show up to 1 or 2, though.
Well, he's got a press tour for his movie. You just mentioned too.
Yeah, but he's got a big bird. Have you seen his plane?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
He's got a beautiful bird.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a big plane. I see some.
Did John Cena's show go well, that superhero show?
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I think so.
I saw it was going all over the place, and he obviously, I would imagine there's more seasons coming.
Yeah.
Ty said that type of show on HBO would get picked up regardless for a second season, regardless because of how much money they put into it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think also if it was just off of the.
It was a smashing success,
Yeah.
and it's definitely getting another one. And it'll probably be around for like 4 or 5 seasons.
Will
I
they
guess.
make a movie out of that, or will it just
Nah,
continue to
I
be
think
TV?
he'll probably be in the movies in that like shared universe, but they'll make that show until they decide to stop making it.
Hey, good for John Cena.
Yeah. Good boy, Johnny.
The Rock. Good for all these guys. Steve
Crushing.
Austin's got to be selling all the beer.
What?
Get him in a superhero movie?
What's that, pal?
Can we get Stone Cold as his own superhero? in one of these?
Longest yard.
Well, yeah. Well,
Sure.
forget Longest Yard. Just go back and watch the Attitude Era.
The Condemned.
There's
you
a
go.
superhero movie
Yeah.
weekly.
Right.
Right there.
Condemned, actually, if you haven't seen it.
Is that the one on the island?
Yeah, him as Jack Conrad. One
What
of
about
the
the
fucking
Miz?
best
Was Miz
performances
in
ever.
Marine 4 or one of them?
He was in 3 of them, I think. I think Miz has claimed ownership over the Marine. I think he is the Marine.
He's real
I love
road,
Miz.
road
Miz
rules
better-
challenger.
Cena
Miz
will
can't-
always be the Marine, my friend.
No, Miz talks about how good he was as the Marine.
Yeah, but Cena was a Marine.
Correct. He
And then
also
he starred in it. John Triton.
I don't know. I mean,
Wait, John Cena was a Marine?
Yeah, 180 confirmed kills.
Yeah, for
Come
China.
Like three
They don't
tours.
have
He wasn't
Marines,
a commie
dude.
spy. He just enjoyed living in China.
Listen, I don't
okay?
know the actual answer to this because it's been taken too seriously, but I don't think he is an actual
He
Marine.
announced the death of Bin Laden.
He did.
I do remember that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
if he was playing a veteran, he would be the right person to do it.
Bingo. Perfect.
But I'm not 100% sure. He didn't make that announcement into
He said
place.
180 confirmed kills.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
Big said?
Hi.
Have you seen Behind Enemy Lines? That's basically what his tour was like.
90 were fucking
He was
face to
Owen
face.
Wilson?
90 were from over 2 miles away with a 50 cal.
I heard it was with a pistol from 2 miles away.
Either way.
Couldn't see him.
Throwing the
It was a
pistol.
knife in the back. Of
I'm
the
not sure
United
any of this
States of
happened. I just want to. I don't think any of this is true. But with that
Urban
being
legends.
said, I mean that season 2 of that show was going to be really good.
be awesome.
It's going to be really good. Let's move on. Debo Samuel has followed the 49ers again. AJ,
We're back. We're back. Good to see Debo back with the squad.
Exactly, AJ. And you have the mind of, I don't know, like an 85-year-old soul. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is so stupid. Motivational speech is so stupid. By the way, I feel similar. But in this particular fashion, the old folks view this as like, oh, he followed him on Instagram. Way to go. This is a big deal, AJ. This is legit. You say I overreact to stuff. He invited the San Francisco 49ers, whose home stadium is in Santa Clara, he invited them back into his every single day scroll. That's a big deal. That's seeing them every single Throwback Thursday too. I mean, he's fucking seeing glory days of him on there, highlights of them signing rookies, probably Shanahan throwing footballs into trash cans on the beach.
Yep.
He said, I get this fucking out of my face whenever he unfollowed him because he didn't want to do business with him. Now he says, follow, they're back in his life. They're back in his hand. That's a big deal. That means relationships are going well. We think a notification was sent through the entire fucking practice facility. Oh my God, Debo is back in the building, kind of. Woo!
Kind of. There you go. Yeah. For the year 2022, yeah, he is back in the building.
Hey, wait, congratulations to the Niners.
Yeah. You did it.
Congratulations to
Sounds super
Debo.
Nice job, Debo.
Well done.
Sounds
Debo.
dumb making it a big deal or saying this is a thing, but it absolutely is a thing. Now, a couple years ago, I may be with the old Stooges saying, "What are you talking about?" But this has proven time and time again. Look at what has happened over history. Like, this actually is a real thing now.
This probably means, much like in the situation with Kyler and Eric Burkhart and the Arizona Cardinals, they agree that they will negotiate at a time. Like, hey, we will negotiate. We will have a conversation at this particular time. Agree? Okay, Kyler follows. The Arizona Cardinals back on Instagram. Everything sounds good. Every answer is business is business. We will handle it. And now we're hearing that they're working on a Kyler Murray extension now. So if we're to go off of that blueprint and assume that they're doing the same for Debo, they would had to have talked Tori Dondy.
Yeah.
Tori Dondy, the agent for Debo, and Debo, Miss Precious, and the San Francisco 49ers have had to come to an agreement like, all right, we'll talk about this in August or a training camp or something like that. Like right now, this is not the time to be doing this.
And because Dandy just did that for A.J. Brown, can he also say, like, hey, if you don't think we can find a suitor, we'll find a suitor immediately, and they'll pay him $100 million over 4 or 5 years, and he'll get what he wants. Like, if you don't want to give it to him, either now, August, even during the season,
do you think he said that to the Niners, and the Niners said, like, all right, let's get a deal. We'll get a deal.
Let's figure it out. Because now at least they've seen.
Because Tori Dondy said, I will fucking hit the market.
Yeah.
You see what I did?
I'll find somebody for him.
You should. We fleeced the Ravens.
Right.
We didn't even let the Ravens know that DeAndre Hopkins was suspended 6 games, and they fucking needed a wide receiver so bad. Got him on the move. Nobody talked about it. Here, nobody said a single word. Nobody knew that Tori Dondy was back here working and pulling the strings. Did it with A.J. Brown draft night. You see that? Vrabel got up, walked away. He was all pissed off. Didn't know. Tori Dondy knew. I would do it to you. Is that what Tori Dondy said to the San Francisco 49ers? That's what Debo's like, all right, I guess we'll play ball or we'll be on the move, just like Tori Dondy did.
I would imagine they're closer to the deal than we think. I mean, they have to feel pretty good about it. Like the Niners gave them some numbers and said, okay, we're somewhat in the same ballpark now. That's what I would take from this. Like if they said, yeah, we'll negotiate in August, I don't know if that would be good enough for Tori Dondy and Debo.
Well, maybe A.J. Brown's deal, what is it, 25?
Yeah. 4 years, $100 million, like 57 guaranteed.
Yeah, that is it, I believe, right there. Hey, good on you.
Let's go, baby. Draft night. Hey, draft spectacular.
Good on. I don't remember anything. But maybe that is just a very easy thing to take to the Niners. Like, hey, this is what the market is. You know, like literally, we just did it. Would you like to do it? And maybe the Niners said we can work around that. Like that is something we can deal with. Or maybe Debo, Lynch, and Shanahan just hung out at the beach one day and just kind of had a conversation. And we're like, all right, let's keep going.
What if, though, Pat, conspiracy, what if he followed them because the Niners said, hey, we will actively shop you, but we want to make things look like it's okay. Let's keep your value high. We have a good relationship. You're back. Oh, boom. You can go wherever you want.
Somebody tweeted me the other day and said that I'm a conspiracy thinking and theory douchebag.
Whoa.
What the hell's that about?
What do you mean?
Well,
Is that like your flat earth stuff and all of that?
All right. Listen, I flew over Earth a couple times. All right, I'm not into that camp. All right, but what we are talking about is we're willing to dive into what could potentially be, especially on May 5th, 2022.
Hell yeah.
Maybe the Niners said, we need to publicly make this a lot better. We need to publicly make this look a lot better. Maybe they dove into it, and Debo's like, cool, as long as I'm on the move somewhere because I'm not going back. But I can't help but go back to the Miss Precious video.
Yeah.
Where Debo did not sound like he was super pissed at the Niners. It sounded like they didn't make him an offer that could have been disrespectful. You know, like they didn't do any of that. Like there was nothing like that. It felt like it could be mended is how everybody was kind of chatting about it. This is the first steps towards that.
Yeah, they had to be fairly close because then if they weren't and it was like a massive gap, then he looks like the bad, like he's complaining about all this stuff. If it's when he said it wasn't about money from the get go, like that would have just made him look worse in terms of public perception from like fans. And
so we could follow even more here. What if they only have comments turned on for followers only, and he wants to go troll on every one of their pictures? Have we seen him comment at all on any of the photos?
No, I don't think so.
Has he liked any photos that they've posted since Debo coming back? Have they posted that Debo has followed them on their Instagram? That'd be good. That'd be good Instagram. That'd be like, hey, not only Debo following you, probably other people will follow you too.
Yeah. And there's a chance maybe Debo saw Brandon Beane say, hey, the salary cap's supposed to be at 225. If it was at 225, there wouldn't be a problem. Next year it'll be at 225. Won't have Jimmy G's contract. We'll give you $30 million next year, Debo. Just come home.
Debo, we just need you to have a little bit of faith. You're going to have another good year, and then we will get you a shit ton of money.
A ton.
Being talking about them being behind schedule when I was putting over how much money it was already at was wild to me. That was something I did not expect. And then Jim Irsay. Not enough.
Yeah, we need more.
It's unbelievable. Like, that league, the league is so large.
It shows you why they continue to grow and grow and grow. Like, there is never enough. There's always more real estate for us to grab. There's always more fans and eyeballs.
Imagine the wide receivers going for like $30 million a year, $31 million a year.
It's happening.
And then that means tackles, by the way, are going to go for like 25, 30, 35, whatever they're already. I mean, everybody's going to go up, but quarterbacks are going to go way up.
Cornerbacks too.
DB's going to get paid.
They're going to go way up. Edge rushers.
Hey, good for everybody. Hey, go get $1 billion.
Go get him.
Go get $1 billion. All right, so let's dive into a conversation that nobody would expect us to have, but I feel like we're actually kind of in the middle of it all, or we're in the middle of it all at the very beginning. I referenced this video earlier. I watched it. It was on like April 10th, 2021, which seems like 15 years ago whenever it comes to like internet life, but it definitely feels longer for the person, or has felt longer for the person that you're about to hear speak about this. So we all knew that the NIL thing was going to happen, name, image, likeness. We all knew that college players were going to start making money off of their names, images, and likenesses. That was going to become a thing, but there was only one person, or at least somebody that we knew that was really speaking publicly about it, that was trying to pass a bill in the government to kind of make it a more regulated, more accepted thing so that the NCAA could just say, yep, here it is. It's the rule of the land. It's the rule of us. Here's Anthony Gonzalez talking about why he was presenting a bill for the NIL a little bit over a year ago before this whole thing really blasted off into what it has become now.
And so we'll extend the right. We'll put up some guardrails around recruiting, make sure that you're not literally paying guys to go to whatever school, and then empower the athletes and hopefully get college football or college sports in general. I think it'll apply to everybody back to a place that makes sense. Because if we're in a world where every state has a different set of rules with respect to what you can do marketing wise,
Wild Wild West.
It's chaos. So we're going to get out of that world.
That's what he said he was going to do or try to do. And then since that time, Anthony Gonzalez fell out of favor in the political world with every single party.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Yep.
He has since retired. Hey, congrats.
Hey, there you go, Gonzo.
Enjoy it, Gonzo.
Congrats.
Have
Hope life
fun.
is good.
Peace of mind.
But he might have been the only human that really truly understood it all in that particular world and could have got some real things done and some guardrails, because what he said there is we don't want it to directly become a recruiting tool. It is vastly that. And a man wrote an article at Sports Illustrated about the SEC commissioner and the Pac-12 commissioner traveling to D.C. today to meet with senators to somehow get some guardrails on it. It feels like they at least would have known that this was coming from Gonzo, but who knows how you stop what the NIL has become. It is full free agency. Joining us from Sports Illustrated, ladies and gentlemen, Ross Delling.
Yeah!
What's going on, man?
Good to be on with you guys.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I want to learn a little bit more here about what's going on. How likely is it that something happens, and how likely is it that it continues to go the way it is, and just every school is going to have venture capitalists like money to go and spend and recruit on guys in the football world, basketball world, and probably every single sport?
Well, it's not likely that something happens in Congress this year. Certainly not before the midterm elections. I know that Greg Sankey and George Kayakov are up there in D.C. trying to lobby for a federal legislation, like Anthony Gonzalez said, right? That is the thing that's needed. That's the solution. And then, the Democrats basically want a broad bill. The Republicans want a narrow bill that just specializes in NIL. And so the compromises fell through. And so that's left us here, right? Which is a predictable position where boosters are using NIL to induce recruits and retain their own players.
Were you expecting them to do this? Were they trying to get recruits to their campus, but they're recruiting college kids? Like there's a kid from Cincinnati, correct? Where is it USC or whoever is putting together all this money to try to bring him? I would imagine stuff like that is what they're going to try to regulate eventually, or is that just going to be common knowledge? What's going to happen with everybody?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issue right now. It's actually not that boosters are inducing high school prospects. It's that boosters are inducing athletes on active college rosters. That has been kind of the real issue here. Certainly the real issue that coaches have in retaining players. So I think what you're going to see happen next week is the NCAA is going to come out with some guidelines, and basically they're just reminding all member schools in these booster collectives and these boosters, hey, boosters for years now have been prohibited from involving themselves in recruiting. Now, we know that they've been involved in an under-the-table way. Everybody kind of knows that. But now they're doing it over the table and obvious and brazenly. And I think the NCAA is reminding everybody, hey, look, this is illegal. This is prohibited. The problem with that, of course, is you have state laws that are going to be potentially protecting some of these collectives, some of these boosters, and that means we'll probably all end up in court at some point.
Who's going to represent the players in that thing? Because what you're saying about them recruiting other college players' teams, it's like if I end up at a small school in high school, I put that work in, all right? I put that work in, then I get better from freshman to sophomore year, okay, and then I put on some good film going into sophomore year, and then I got 2 years left of eligibility, and maybe the school that I went to is like not able to do what another school was able to do with like, I don't know, like, hey, here's $500,000. That changes your entire family's being forever. $500,000 gets everybody out of debt. You've already done it before the age of 21 here. Congratulations. This is the transfer portal. You go there. Then you just come sign with us, and now everybody's happier. Like, who represents the players in this thing that say, like, this is cool the way it is? Anybody doing that, or do you see that happening?
Yeah, well, there is. There's a pretty big group that's actually not just on the player side with this issue, kind of saying like you mentioned, right? This is okay. You know, it's okay. Our players are finally getting a piece of the cut after years and years of these big TV deals, $1 billion TV deals. Players are finally getting a cut of it. You know, coaches' salaries through the roof. So yes, there's a big group that are with the players, and now players can have agents, right? So they're using agents to facilitate some of these.
That's wild to me.
Deals.
Hey, that's wild to me.
Correct. That's a problem, right? That's starting to be a problem of agents recruiting off of other college teams, kind of in a way. They're involved in all this. So this has kind of been part of the issue as well. But the athlete, you're right, the athletes are benefiting here, like they probably should have for years. But there's got to be, I think college officials would tell you, there's got to be some kind of guidelines and regulations to this thing. It's kind of like pro football, but unregulated pro football, right? Just completely unregulated free agency. And so I think you're going to see some of those guidelines come up next week. Will they be enforced? I don't know. Will somebody be made an example of? That's the problem right now, Pat, is that the NCAA is not enforcing anything, and there are obvious inducements going on right now, and the NCAA is just not enforcing anything because they are scared, I think, mostly of getting sued, and also because honestly they don't have the staff capacity to do all of this at every school, because virtually, I don't want to say every school is doing it, but a lot of schools are doing it.
All right, well, we appreciate you so much for your time. You can find them on SI Now, Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger. Thank you, man. Thank you, buddy. How about that, AJ? Look at us diving into the weeds of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a weird world going on right now with all of that.
It's capitalism, right? But then if there's no salary cap at all, that's awesome.
Yeah, wide open. How do you keep guys anywhere? Like, they're gonna have to have tamp. I don't know how you put guardrails up, as they say, for any of it, really.
Yeah, because couldn't somebody have? And devil's advocate, just very clearly here, devil's advocate. Like Pat White should have been able to go somewhere and make millions and millions and millions of dollars as a college football player because of how good he was at college, and then his NFL career ended up what it was, especially with a hit on the sideline and very cut short. So his lifetime earnings much different, because of what happened and how big he was at college. So it's like, I will always view Steve Slayton, same thing. I mean, Steve and Pat and Owen and I could go through a lot of them. Noel came later, but like Steve and Pat rebuilt West Virginia. That place was rebuilt because of them, and their NFL careers weren't the super high grossing NFL careers that I think everybody would always say, like, oh, he'll make his money in the NFL, he'll make his money in the NFL. So there's always going to be that conversation on the other side too. It's like fascinating. How do you put the toothpaste back in?
How do you? I don't know how you do it now. I mean, all of a sudden the gates opened up, everyone could get paid, and then here we are. And it's all, I don't know. It's actually not, it's not spoken about as much as I thought it would be when we were looking at, like, back in the day whenever we were talking about this, like, becoming a real thing. Like, I feel like now it's like, okay, yeah, dude got $1.5 million. Cool.
Bro, that was a year ago. That conversation with Gonzo was a year ago in like another month or whatever.
In April.
Yeah, it was April. A year and a month. That's not
I see a lot of local commercials here of like Ohio State basketball players with at car dealerships and football players. I'm like, man, these guys driving sweet trucks and stuff in college.
Yeah, I saw a couple guys at another school obviously show up with the same exact Chargers basically parked next to each other. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Been here a long time. I haven't seen that. Now, that was somewhere else, obviously, not in my school that I was at. That was somewhere else. But I think we all assumed that it would be used in recruiting, though. Like, I think that directly what Ross said over the
Did
counter.
you think college to college, though? Did you think they'd be, okay, USC is going to see some stud for Cincinnati and be like, hey, we can give you $2 million, come on over?
I don't know, because I think with the growth of the transfer portal, I think everybody would kind of just assume that become the case. So are they paying them and they're on scholarship, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Or is it like, am I netting?
Hey, you don't need to do
$1.5 million?
Yeah,
Is it
good.
gross?
Maybe they
Or
do that.
Is it, yeah, what is it? And then they have more scholarships to give out. Oh, no. What if that becomes the thing? So then the scholarships are just going to the walk-ons, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the walk-ons are like the kids who can't get any NIL deals. Everybody that can get NIL deals,
good idea.
You're just paying. You're just getting paid, and you're going to school. It's just a part of the whole thing. Oh my God! Did we just fix the whole thing?
That might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And like, would they put a ceiling on it? Like,
Hey, if your school doesn't have one of these, sorry about it.
yeah.
Sorry about it. Find someone. Now we're saying that as I don't know if I think West Virginia has one.
What do you mean has one?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, like an NIL group? What do you mean?
Yeah, an NIL group. Yeah.
The group, like these groups that come together, though. I know different schools, they have these big groups.
You guys
Are
have had
they-
them for years.
Yeah, they're outside groups that what they raise money and then they choose, like they have a board that chooses who to give the money to, or how's it work?
No, it's for deals. It's for deals.
Yeah.
It's for deals.
The team.
Yeah, deals. But no, like back in the day, they would just put people's names on like libraries and stadiums and stuff. You know, when it, like yours, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No, yeah, believe me, when people have asked me to donate, we could we could put your name on this archway going into that room. Like, okay, no, I don't care about that. But
Hey, that was going right into your pocket, right? When you were playing there, though.
what was going in my pocket?
Those donations that are coming from those big time.
It's going right in all the cranes you see outside, building all the facilities every single day.
Yeah. That's because they're nonprofit. Remember, they were not nonprofit for the week.
That's right. So is the NFL.
Yeah, nobody they're classified as that in a, which is a whole nother conversation. Whole nother business conversation. But the colleges, they always say like, we made no money last year. They say only 10% of schools make money from athletics. And it's like, look at our brand new $500 million building right here.
Yeah.
Look at our new $750 million lab over here. It's like, oh, I wonder why you guys aren't making money. Does anybody say no to any ideas around here? Not a single person.
Well,
Jeez.
in schools that have multiple good sports, like obviously there are some schools that are good at football, good at basketball, but like you remember that LSU graphic that I think it was the year before they won the national championship. Their football team grossed like $55 million, and then every other team below them was in the red, and they basically were the one team was paying for every other team's athletics and field time and buses
That's how
and
a lot
all
of
that
them are.
shit.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about everything, how it's become.
There's like, I think Ohio State has like 36 varsity sports or something. There is a lot of sports out there.
Yeah, but they're good at they're good at more than one sport. Like they have a really good hockey team, a really good basketball team. Like there are some schools that don't have that. So there's no way Ohio State's one of those teams that is in the red.
When we go back to the whole NIL not becoming just recruiting payments that have no roof on them, basically, and you can play and just do your whole thing while you're playing. It's wild to think that they're mature enough to handle it all, in my eyes, because of how I would have been if this happened. I would have been. It would have been bad, I think. Also, who knows what happens with their careers? Are they going to a place where it's not going to be hard enough for them to become calloused enough to become an NFL player? Will it have, repercussions on getting a little bit more relaxed in your life as opposed to being fully dialed in? We will see. And I'm only saying that strictly off of how I would have been if I would have been getting paid any money. Not that I ever would have been offered that in the modern world. I'm just saying how these guys could get in college, 18, 19 years old, millions of dollars.
Yeah, you kidding me?
I mean, there is a chance.
We all would have everybody would have made many, many mistakes. Some, you would hope you just didn't spend it all and go into debt after you got 1.5 mil when you're 19 years old.
I would like it if they set up the payment structure somehow where it's like, all right.
I bet the schools the schools have to have groups of people like scrambling together to try to educate these guys on how to handle it and how to get paid and what to do. Yeah, I don't know how though.
Yeah.
So many people you need for that.
I concur. And also, how do you tell people about their own personal decisions,
And especially like an 18, 19-year-old. I know when some old stooge was telling me stuff, like I'm looking right through that dude.
Yeah. You have no idea. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. That's the
because
whole.
they're probably, though, you know how those people are, probably very condescending, put their hand on my shoulder, kid, what you need to do here. And he's trying to get me to funnel his money to his company or something.
Well, see, you can't trust anybody either, but then they're trusting. What if they trust the wrong person? Like the agent game.
That's where I feel like it could get, because you just got all these guys just gassing these kids up, and in college, obviously, like There's really that could go very, very bad. I feel like
you need to have guys like AJ come back and talk to the students, guys who like squandered all their money on celebrity sex tapes and foolish golf bets.
Exactly,
and kind of give them an
celebrity
example
sex
of how
tapes.
it could go wrong.
Why do you have those?
What do I have? I don't know about that. I mean, the golf bets, I would be happy to pay you $20 million. It's never going to happen whenever your golf bet.
You're so fucked.
Yeah,
have you heard?
Wrong.
Have you seen what this office is transformed into over here?
Okay.
You don't get it. You'll never get it.
You're right. I won't get it. I never will.
Well, I'm going to get it. And that it is $20 million of your money, man. Yep. I got 30 years now. 30. Wow, years are ticking away. I had 31. No, I have 30 years. To get that. Plenty of time.
I mean, when you're coming into work at a PGA Superstore, essentially, you're gonna get better.
That's what the Thunderdome's going to have, basically. It's going to be.
I'm looking at some good workout equipment too to put in the gym that is going to help your golf swing too. We'll create some more torque for you.
Oh, how's the Hawk House going? Have you already started?
I've made a few calls, man. Yeah, I've actually, I don't talk on the phone. I've made a few calls and actually talked to people on the phone.
Wow, we appreciate that.
I need to know what you want.
Bro, you better rise up the rankings of gym designers in the world.
Yeah. It's going to be expensive though. You know that, right?
No, this is your house.
Yeah, it's out of your money.
Yeah, what are you talking
okay. About? It's going to be a different weight room now. But yeah.
Hey, you better call C&J, dude.
Yeah.
The Hawk House presented by C&J Basement.
And let me know if that church does have a basement down there. We could try to help them with any kind of mustiness.
Well, thank you, C&J. They'll save us thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
I don't know if that was a talking point or not. Maybe I just freeballed that one.
Freestyle, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get out of here. Let's get to a break. We'll be back in 4 with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. Big thanks to Ross Dowlinger calling.
Yeah. He also said in there they don't have anyone to make an example out of. Whoever the first kid, they're going to basically be like, all right, you know what? You're the one that we're going to start with and make sure you don't get this.
Yeah, but remember, they're for the student athletes.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be against a school, right? They'll sanction like a school or a group of boosters or NIL things.
Yeah, and they'll somehow only sanction a school that has no boosters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really gets
the schools
killed.
that have actual boosters will be like, all right, yeah, they're really cracking down.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for doing that. Imagine being 18 years old. You have, 150, 200,000 followers on Instagram, TikTok, and everything. Very well liked amongst your peers. Your life, you just wake up, you dunk on people on 7-on-7s all the time, and then you're walking into like recruiting visits, and you're walking into offices, and they're like, "We think you fall between like $200,000 and $275,000. We think a year, so that's what we're willing to offer, and we would gladly love to have you. And this guy's going to take you out. You're going to have the nicest meal in town.
Yeah.
You're probably going to go to the best bar, best club. You're going to have VIP everywhere. Everything's going to happen. And also, here's a car for you to drive home in.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, hope you choose this school. It's like, okay, now tomorrow, I guess, I'm going to have to wake up, be loved by everybody, dunk on some motherfuckers, then walk into another office, 350,000.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, could you imagine that? No.
Someone better be checking a lot of these parents too, because there's some parents that will take advantage of the money their kids are getting. I promise you that.
I would have loved to heard Tim and Sally in these conversations at 18 years old if I was one of these guys. How much are you saying? Did you say $750,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to this school.
Yeah, sign that piece of
paper. This is where we're. Congratulations.
I'd start Zillow-ing right there. I'd be like, I'm gonna rent a 14,000 square foot house somewhere with a pool, and I'm gonna be a college kid doing that.
Yeah, well, Tim and Sal too would be like, I think a house would be over there.
Moving in with you.
We also like this one. Is this? Yeah, I mean, how do you not do that, right? I mean, how do you not? Because I think, and I don't want to out anybody as anything, but I believe the old move was you actually give parents jobs at companies in the area.
Yep.
So you pay them a salary to do a job at a company that is a booster in the area. Then they get to be there. They have a job. It's their bank accounts that are earning the income, not the player. And it's just like a natural thing. I think that is what a lot of people have done. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean that's happened in the past. People have gotten busted doing that.
But I think I've snooped around, and that is like the
blueprint.
I think that's the move.
It's like what they do with high school. They recruit high school kids that way. A kid who lives an hour and a half away, they have to have like residency, so they get them an apartment and they get their parents a gig in that city so they can live there and go to that school and dominate and win the state tournament.
That's what we need to do a plum. All right, I'm building a plum.
Here we go. We got it.
Right,
I thought that's what all that money was for, to recruit kids over there.
Well, I was hoping it would be, but I guess next step is we have to put in an apartment.
Plum is super nice,
nice
though, man.
one.
I watched that video of you going back. Like Plum is very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of farm, got a lot of open area.
I mean, like the high school, the facilities look very nice.
Yeah, that was built, I forget what year. It got paintballed fucking first day, and then it's been stained with paintballs all over. You remember that? They got a big fucking Mustang put in. I mean, it was this, where the Plum Mustangs, it was during my entire high school career. So when I was in junior high, they renovated the junior high. Then as soon as I got to high school, guess what? They renovated the entire high school. So I don't think I saw it. I don't think I had. Yeah, I didn't experience the nice school that it is, but it is very nice. First week, though, they put this big Mustang up. Obviously, some fucking asshole from Plum. Classic. I mean, that's just what it is. Paintball's the entire thing. They try to clean it. You can't. It's just welts now on this entire thing.
Wow.
So it's on every. So it's like the outside has been obviously damaged by the, just Plum people and probably people from other schools. But yeah, I would like to really invest in that place. I want there to be some studs over there. I honestly, our girls soccer team's fucking really good. We create some Olympians over there. That'd be fucking awesome. I mean, that'd be something I'd really want to be a part of. You know what I mean?
A lot of farmland. You just said plenty of room for apartment complexes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, that's how a neighbor school got a lot of their players.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's talking about Gateway right now.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. They got real good real quick.
So they were in on it ahead of their time, if you will.
Well, yeah, they were very good. That's what Plum needs to do. That's what we're going to do.
Let's go.
Also, I think there's like some esports arena going in there too.
Holy shit.
Right?
Yeah.
In Plum?
Yeah.
At the high school?
Yeah. Who's putting it in, you think?
You.
Yeah. Yeah. So I heard it's happening. It is. I think it is going to happen. That's something I wouldn't mind us just becoming a funnel into fucking esports as well. That'd be cool for the kids.
Hey,
Yeah.
PS5.
A lot of the Italian body types around Plum too. Probably pretty good gamers.
Good
know what
shit
I mean?
talkers.
Oh, yeah.
We could get the next optic scamp coming from Plum.
That's what I'm talking
It's Scump, dude.
Let's go, dude.
It's Scump.
Who?
Optic Scump.
Is he part of FaZe Clan?
He better not be,
I
because
don't think so. I think
he's part of
fucking
Optics.
stinks.
Bill's favorite athlete.
What's he play?
He plays
Bill's
everything.
He is.
Bill has his
Plays
jersey.
fucking computer, PC, fucking PS5.
But that's the thing, though. Like
He
real
plays Call
gamers,
of
they
Duty.
use
See what I'm
computers, right? They don't use
Yeah,
consoles.
because it's faster and more. It's a high level conversation like
That makes
JJ
no
Redick
sense.
had it with Tim Legler.
That's right.
The computer they actually build their own computers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. There's an electronics store I go to get stuff for here, and there's always a line out the door. And I always ask Bill about it. He's like, "Oh, they released these like new servers or internal parts of these computers." for gamers.
Processors.
Graphics cards.
Processor. Yeah, it's because so it's faster. Any lag, you're dead.
Every
Literally.
day, though. Every day there's a line out the door of this one place.
4K,
Every day?
bro.
What store is it?
What, Microsystems or whatever? One of those like real sweet technology stores.
Really? I didn't know there was any store on earth that had a line at it anymore.
10 a.m. I
Especially
can't
not
believe
every day.
time.
No.
Every day. By the way, I am in line, not online when I'm at a store.
there it is.
Not from New York.
But I am on Long Island.
Correct.
Okay.
Bingo.
on
Okay.
Friday. I am on Long Island on Friday.
Let's go.
Have a little respect for the place. I was told because I guess a few days ago I said Friday we're in Long Island. You're on Long Island.
Yeah.
If we don't do it online
When you're there,
on
you
Long
are.
Island.
Yeah, well, I will be on Long Island
Yeah.
on Friday.
And that line, I'm pretty sure, is all of the listeners of our show, Bill and Zeke, new computers, because I feel like that
That
happens.
Zito was getting 2-3 computers a week there for a bit. Let's get to a break.
People sending them?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
finessing people.
Oh, by the way, Columbus is a new Silicon Valley.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they were saying with all that open land.
Hey, here we go.
Well, Intel. Well, Joe Biden mentioned Intel built like a $800 billion facility they're putting in.
So you guys are that. We got the warehouses.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We got,
We got a lot of those too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My daughter's where she plays soccer. A new building that is like 4 football fields goes up every week. I feel like there's like 8 of them stacked next to each other.
That's happening out here. I guess that's what a lot of
Servers.
farmland's going to become, huh?
Mm-hmm. There's a book written where
They're
Columbus,
fucking our farmers.
Yeah,
Named
can't
the
have it.
farms.
the heart of the next generation.
Server farms now.
I got attacked this week for cutting my grass.
Bill Gates is
Deer
growing on
fucking
me.
fight back.
What happened?
Yeah. Did you know that there's a section of human beings on this planet who, if you cut your grass, you are the worst human being on the earth?
What?
How?
Where?
Because it's bad for the planet. You should just let the planet be as is. and you
Fuck
shouldn't
off,
fucking
damn
cut
it.
your grass.
It's like when you cut dead ends on your hair. That you're making it more healthy.
You don't have to tell me, dude.
Supposed to
Bro,
do
my
that.
lawn stinks. I do not focus on the cutting of it now. Even back whenever I was in The neighborhood that I lived in, I was terrible. I was a terrible neighbor. I did not take care of it. I let it grow out. It was by far the worst lawn in the entire place. The guy that cut it every single week had the nicest, freshest, purest grass of all time. You care more for the land than those people.
Apparently, you kill bees if you cut grass and fucking.
You can't walk in the grass
bee
either.
thing.
I'm a team B guy though, so let's.
And that's a whole nother.
Nick,
Put your
please.
phone away,
Nick,
bud.
are we not all team
Need
Bs?
the bees. Got to be Team Honeybee.
Where
team
are
bees.
the
Fuck
bees?
wasps, but Team B all the way.
Yeah, wasps are just little fucking terrorists of the sky like those Canadian geese.
Well, if they're in the backyard while I'm mowing on my fucking deer, I'm gonna slice that thing's brains in two. Okay. Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
It's fucking mowing season.
We need
Move
these
along.
bees. Is that what they're mad about? Were you slicing bees? Why did you have to describe?
I thought you were talking about
Well, I was
geese.
just
You
thinking,
talking about the queen or the
Geese,
The
no, the
geese,
goose.
not the bees.
no, the bees. Whatever comes in my fucking path. Okay, I'm thinking of the rotor head just going around and just slicing any insect, really, maybe a squirrel or something, just slicing their head right in two.
No, Ty, can't have it.
You
Not
kill
the
all the bees.
bees.
There ain't
Hold
gonna be
on,
any more
Ty, I got a
crops for
question
your
for you.
deer to run
Oh,
on.
AJ's got a question. Here we go.
Quick, I just want to know, Ty, because this has happened to me, and I've never seen anybody do it. I hope you're not doing this, Ty. If you're at a stop sign or whatever, and all the cars are stopped, and you have like 15 geese slowly waddling across the street, Ty, you don't jam the gas.
No, come
Who
on.
does that? Nobody does
Come
that.
on.
No,
Nobody
I haven't
does
seen
that.
anybody do it, but Ty made me think he may be. That
Yeah,
guy.
well, you did have a little serial killer tendency there, the way you were describing your John Deere taking a tractor another around your lawn there.
Nah, it's a bee.
Yeah,
That's the
you said-
Waterloo
Then you
in
said
'em.
squirrel. Then you said that.
Well, hey, if he runs under, what am I gonna do?
well, you don't
you
have to
think I'm
celebrate the win. It's certainly.
Well, I tell you what, I'm also not fucking up my lines in my backyard.
What
Who
if
was
your
that one?
wife runs out there?
Dahmer was in the woods
Yeah, well, he's
cutting up the squirrel. That's what you're talking.
no,
That's what you're sounding like.
no. I'm not
Exactly the same.
dismembering them with my hands. I'm
Waterloo,
saying,
Iowa.
With your penis,
Dis-
maybe.
whoa, jeez, whoa,
Right. There's no reason that gone. What's so funny?
He turned them into zombies.
All right, we're out
That's
of
what
here.
Dahmer did.
All right, we're back
Drill
in
into the
4
brain
minutes.
and make them zombie.
Yeah, we will answer some phone calls.
Let's go to break.
On the other side, 5-hour energy phone line 1-833-4 McAfee. It's May 5th. Debo Samuel followed for 49.
hell yeah.
Yeah, good win.
Hey, we got T4, 10 Stacy Tournament talk on the other side.
Yes.
Hockey. This is season 4, episode 2, I believe. Can't wait for that. And NBA talk from 10 Diggs. Your phone calls. Wrapping up hour 2 on this Cinco de Mayo. Happy that one to all of you. Bye.
It's just like I'm frustrated with flying cars because I'm obsessed with that. Like I want a flying car.
Hey, me too.
What I got is my phone instead. It's like, well, the future is on your phone really right now. It's not like literally in front of you. You can't get into a flying car, but your phone has it all. It's like, I don't want this phone. I'm not going to have this phone 14 hours a day like you young people do. No, thank you. Like, I'm not from that generation. But, give me a flying car. And honestly, when we shut down the Mars missions, we were supposed to be going in 2024, and we shut it down. But a lot of people don't realize is, from here to the moon is 208,000 miles roughly. 200. So you can think about that. Well, in this country, a long road trip could be 4,000 miles, and how far it is to Australia, so 200,000 miles, that you think about that, and, that's far, but like Mars, think about this, is 250 million miles. 250 million miles. So, that's a little different thing because, when you go, it takes about anywhere from 9 to 11 months to get there, depending on the alignment.
Are you going to fucking Mars?
And so,
Jim, are you going to Mars? It sounds like you're.
I wish I was. Maybe you'll have. I think you have a chance to do a show from there when you're 80, Pat.
Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
All right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat. I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Carroll. Hey, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here, hour 2 on this Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you. Hope you're celebrating AJ Hawk.
Happy Cinco de Mayo to you and everybody else. Are people celebrating?
Oh, yeah.
I don't honestly.
Sounds like it's raining over there.
As soon as the show started, I didn't do enough thinking into what I was going to say about it. I don't know the history well enough, but I do know that this day has brought me a lot of happiness.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful for it. Very, very thankful for it.
It's usually a very fun day, honestly. It really is.
Everybody seems to be all in. And the culture is a good time. So celebrating the culture is always a good time. You ever go and get, margaritas, they're a good time.
What?
A couple cervezas, they're a good time. Taco night is like a huge. There's just the entire culture is just like a good time almost. It feels like.
I every year going to a Mexican restaurant for lunch on Cinco de Mayo for the last however many years. It's just a good start to the day.
Give me a
Feels
couple
good.
double marg too. There was a place in Morgantown. I forget the name of it. Those were the greatest Cinco de Mayo's I've ever been a part of.
I bet.
It was afternoon. It was a great time. But anyways, happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. We're wrapping up hour 2 here. We'll hit the phones on the 5RNG phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Let's go to Rye in North Carolina. What's going on, Rye? Sounds great early here. This is good. What's going on, man?
Pat, boys, what's up?
What's up?
Keep it up.
What's up, dude? So I'm calling from beautiful Bald Head Island, North Carolina.
Oh, sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
Wonderful.
Just wanted to shed some light on the Bill Cowher situation.
No, I've already seen the fucking clip. I'm done with it. I can't believe
really?
I just seen the clip. It's Bill Cowher. He's firing up the Carolina Hurricanes or whatever, and then it's playing against the goddamn Pittsburgh Penguins. I have no idea what lake house he got up there at Bald Head Island, but I'm not happy about it. This is a heartbreaker, Rye.
All right, so Bill Cowher used to lay the smackdown on the Carolina Tar Heels no farther than you could kick a football from the main gate of the PNC Arena that the Carolina Hurricanes play at.
All right, well, he grew up, walking around, kicking an actual ball in the city of fucking Pittsburgh.
We should thank Coach Cowher. This was an inside job. He did this to fire up the Pens, who would go on to sweep the fucking Caniacs.
Swept their ass.
And then would go on. They would go on to beat the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup final. Thank you, Coach Cowher.
I think they beat the Red Wings.
Hey, listen, I have more slips every single day than anybody, but when you say Red Wings, we have to talk about it. But you're 100% right. The fucking Red Wings, dude. You guys stink.
This is why you guys are never Hockey Town. Everyone in Detroit loves the Red Wings. In Pittsburgh, not everyone likes the Penguins because there's a Steelers-Penguins rivalry. I don't know what it is. You guys can't get along.
It is what it is. Bill Carr's dropped the fucking puck for the Penguins before. This is a Bill Carr problem.
Quit making things up.
This ain't a Pittsburgh problem, dude. Ben Roethlisberger pump faked.
He did.
All time.
Dropped the puck. They had Ben Roethlisberger night. They lost. They had a Ben Roethlisberger night.
Yeah, still cool.
Can we please play that video?
The other day, good luck to the Penguins and Coach Sullivan in their playoff run, dude.
Shut up.
Well, Tomlin's in, but
Can we play
Carr.
this? Can we play this? Yeah.
Is that Don Cherry?
Yeah. Holy shit.
And about that same time frame from the last time a team won an 0-3 lead. 75 was the last time. Same team. You never know.
Okay, well then Bill, he's going to do the siren pretty soon. Way to go, Billy Boy.
Billy Boy Carr.
Looks like a turncoat to me.
Yeah,
He's actually wearing a red shirt.
Yeah. Benedict Arnold over there.
Hopefully got paid.
No, he got a lake house on Bald Head Island.
Yeah.
Hates the Penguins.
Free Caniacs jersey.
We just powered through a hard out. This is working.
And he's winning.
This is sweet. I'm glad he did this.
This motherfucker is getting out of Jeopardy's putting in his That's Pittsburgh drink that guy's putting in his
Oh, my God.
Spin that thing harder than anybody because he's from the fucking Rust Belt. He's doing it for somebody who's playing against the Pen.
Jeez Louise.
This guy used to get prayed to by people in Pittsburgh.
He's still going. He's still going.
Look how crazy we're going with the fake terrible ties.
He hates that team.
And here's the Pens coming out. He's like, get a lot of boom, boys. Fuck his team. And they said 75 when the Pens lost. Jesus, God. What is this guy's deal?
Carr hates Pittsburgh.
He had to do it for his family. I mean, his family was down there. His
family's from Pittsburgh.
They were living down there. They were getting picked on in school, and that was the only way that Bill would do
Just
stuff.
another reason that
Shut up, you idiot.
are not and never will be Hockey Town.
Shut up, Foxy. That is damning evidence.
His wife's from Carolina. She made him do it.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's a singer.
Bill
Carr doesn't
Makes it
bend
worse.
backwards for nobody.
He should have wore, okay, and this is what my parents did. When we played the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, they wore an all-black Colts jersey. Or a Colts shirt.
Not bad.
So if you looked real close, there was a Colts horseshoe on it, but they were fitting in with the black shirts. We are Steelers fans from the beginning here. We don't know what to do. A lot of our families here wearing Steelers McAfee jerseys were actually out there. That, I think, is what he should have done. He should have had a black shirt on, okay? Maybe a small little hurricane. Small little hurricane on the right shoulder away from the camera.
Yes.
On the right shoulder away from the camera. Then, give a blatant competition speech. Can't wait to see these guys compete.
Yep.
Love watching guys compete. It's an honor to get to hit this fucking siren. And I'm going to do it longer than anybody else because I'm a tough guy. And then he goes in there. He could have played that game a lot differently. He gave a little, it's going to happen. And that was the most effort I've ever fucking seen for a siren in the history of sirens right there.
There was a rumor that Tommy Barrasso spit in his face, so that was maybe something.
After that?
No, before that, which led to this.
I mean, the towel is the most damning
The
thing,
towel
I
is
think.
very damning.
Well, he threw it
That was
down
a
quickly.
rag,
You
dude.
saw
That wasn't a fucking
He only
towel.
did
Like Brett Michaels.
You look a lot better than Brett
That
Michaels.
guy's
Yeah, he had to use the towels.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
His wife was sick. She was from North Carolina. He had to do it.
I understand, and we hope everybody's okay, obviously. But with that being
She
said,
passed.
oh no, jeez,
Jesus
Christ.
Jeez Louise.
Don't want to have to do this again.
That's she was. Oh, all right. Well, I'd like to have a moment of silence for Mrs.
His
Carr.
second wife's like a professional singer, though.
Yes.
Well,
He got
I'm happy
remarried?
Mr. Carr found love again. It was probably very heartbreaking. A moment of silence for Mrs. Carr. And also, moment of silence for some people viewing Bill Carr as like super Pittsburgh guy. That was tough to see. He should have wore a black shirt, small little hurricane, gave a bland speech about that whole thing, but I understand when you're put in a situation.
Carr.
That was tough to watch, though.
I hope you're happy, you scumbag Fox.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of Joe Manganiello doing that the week after.
He didn't do it.
Not in
dude.
Carolina. He did that in Pittsburgh.
That's not his name either.
His name's Manganiello.
What's that goalie's name for the Rangers?
Igor Shkursky. Fucking clear as day, pal. Listen, if you listen to back what Rupper said in a sentence, you could actually hear me. You could see me piecing together the sentence again. I gave my best effort. That was tough. I mean, it doesn't matter.
No.
You guys completely defeated in the playoffs anyways.
And
just like the Boston Bruins.
Well, that's
Hour
right.
3 will be on in about 2.5 minutes. Connor has a lot to say. Get off his chest. Can't wait for it. We also have Rupper joining us, former Stanley Cup champion, NHL Network pundit, and also co-host of That's Hockey Talk. Tone Diggs will also have a T4 about NHL and NBA. Woo! More NFL news as it comes through the wire. We're back in 2 for Hour 3.
I want to tell you a story. A story about a young man who once had a gambling problem, perhaps, before all these FanDuel sports books. The greatest app, the greatest place to gamble existed. There were bookies, there were illegal gambling rings. And one time, yes, I was a part of one. And I could not pay my bill, per se. I broke my legs. But now, because of FanDuel Sportsbook, they saved my life. That's why I will always gamble with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel Sportsbook.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3 of this glorious Cinco de Mayo.
Hell yeah.
Maybe our best hour of show ever shall begin right now.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for joining us. AJ Hawk to my left, your right. He is wearing an all-black shirt in front of a very real set of books in an attic in Ohio. AJ, how you doing, pal? What are you drinking? That's your little Sparks drink all day?
No, I mix it up. I have different mixtures I like to throw in there.
You told us yesterday. You said it was Sparks and amino acids or something.
Yeah, special juice.
Yeah, today it is for sure.
Will you send us a recipe?
What's your deal?
Why would you say that?
What is the deal? Why are you so a man of mystery?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just wondering, what's the inside joke? I want to be a part of it. You came back from breaking your last episode.
Well, it was going through some hockey talk during the break. You know, Rupper just put out a video about, he's calling for New York Rangers fans to come help him because he feels like he's getting set up like it's a bamboozle, like it's a trap because he predicted the Rangers to beat the Penguins tonight. And I already tweeted him, what's the fucking deal? And then I called him and said, hey, what's the fucking deal? What is going on? So he thinks he's going to get attacked a little bit on this show when he shows up because he predicted against the Pittsburgh Penguins and Louis fucking Domingue.
Yeah.
So, I have the utmost respect for Rupper, okay? I get a lot of my hockey information from Rupper when he speaks, so that's whenever he's predicting us to lose. It's a little bit of a heartbreaker, and it's disappointing. I'm not here to attack Rupper. I just got problems with what he's thinking right now, AJ, and that's what we're
saw your guy Louis Domingue is getting the start tonight, though, right?
That's right, mostly because the other guy's still hurt. We don't know how.
You got Lou.
Big Dick Domingue to you, AJ.
Yeah, thank you. BDD.
Hi. He's BDD.
He's dynamite.
Hi. BDD. Hi. BDD.
I hope he doesn't give up 6 goals tonight.
He won't.
Shut up, not a
dude.
chance.
AJ. He won't.
B.
Son of a bitch.
DD is batting 1,000 right now, pal. getting dropped in there out of the middle of nowhere. He was described by Rupper on That's Hockey Talk as being described by other people as maybe having too much confidence, maybe being or never lacking confidence is what they say. He never lacked confidence. That's the type of guy we need right now. All hell has broken loose at the goaltender position. We get Jari, broken foot. What? Casey DeSmith subs himself out 2 overtimes into the first playoff game. Out. We got BDD now, who never has lacked confidence, is what was said. He's in there. He's a fucking star. He's going to go win Lord Stanley's Cup. Everything he's been confident about his entire life is coming to fruition right fucking now, baby. AJ.
Well, if there's any position I want who has extreme confidence, it would be the goalie. He's just sitting there, probably thinks, I can stop every single shot that comes my way. So maybe they do have a chance, but it is. I will be intrigued. I cannot wait to actually check in and watch some of this game just to feel what your reaction may be, whether they are winning or losing.
Well, that's, we're going to win.
Yeah. Well, is Bill Carr ringing the bell at Rangers, Stadium tonight, or what?
Jeez. What if and Tomlin would never do this?
No. Yeah, never. That's why Bill Carr is so shocking.
Madison Square Garden.
Excuse me, yes, the fake garden. And Bill Carr's second wife, I believe, is from New York.
Yeah, she is Manhattan.
So, is Bill Carr ringing the bell?
Wow.
If Bill Carr's wearing khakis and doing that whole thing. Anyways, the boys are going to win then. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If anything tells me that Sid and the boys will get it figured out, that would be the case. Sydney has like 190-some points in like 150, 70 playoff games. And Gino has like 176 points in 170-some playoff games. I mean, the boys are just incredible. This is when our team shows up. Now we got BDD. I can't wait to talk to Rupp about it and why he thinks the Rangers are going to win. And if they do get a win, the Penguins fans, I think, would be okay with it. Like, all right, at least they split. Maybe we get people back. Zucker's back healthy. We're getting some things. So I don't think tonight decides everything, AJ. I'm okay with whatever happens tonight.
Okay. Have you been watching the basketball as well?
Oh yeah, I've been watching Luka do a
every time down the court. Feels like
and one.
So good.
Dude, he has like just such a smooth step back. It feels like, they're going to block that. They have to block that because how like just natural and calm it looks. And it's like, no, they can't for some reason because he's super crafty out there.
That's right.
Crafty with the space.
And hearing JJ talk about it too, it makes a lot of sense. If Luka's just the reason he doesn't have another like number 2 is because he needs to, watch the game develop. He's a master of the art.
Yeah, so everybody's just kind of running to help him figure out what the defense is.
Yeah.
He scored more points than all of his teammates combined or something last night.
Yeah, I believe he scored more than the other starting 4.
Yeah, first
combined.
2 games he has 80 points. The other starters have 70.
He's pretty good at the basketball.
Dog.
But is this a James Harden type situation going on in Dallas?
Jimmy Harden, boy.
stinks.
Yeah, he's getting dragged through the mud right now.
Where's he end up at, you think? I'm a James Harden fan.
Might go back to Houston.
As a human.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about basketball. I guess he's not going to win championship anywhere is what everybody says.
That's what everyone says.
But he lives his life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He does not give a fuck.
Fun one.
He does not give a fuck, that guy. So you gotta be a little bit admirable, I guess. AJ, whenever you think about OTAs being in phase 2, do you think there's anything we can learn right now about any of these teams other than GMs potentially loving some rookies and hating some rookies? There is nothing that comes from this other than camaraderie and maybe a quick eye on the young guys, you think? What else can you really garner from phase 2 of these OTAs that everybody's at right now?
I mean, I guess you could, if someone was alarmingly stupid and couldn't pick up your playbook, you would start to realize that now because in phase 2, you're doing more walkthroughs. You can't, like, say you're a defender, you can't go against the offense, but you can line up and run through your defensive calls that they give you and, run your blitz patterns. I don't know, can they have anybody out there running routes against them or walking routes?
Defense has to be defensive routes, yeah. Offense has to be defensive line. Offensive players have to play defensive line, that type of stuff.
You can see how guys move around in the workouts and stuff, the little individual drills, and you can see if they are just incredibly dumb and they can't pick up the basic stuff you're trying to put in now. But until you do OTAs and you're actually going against an offense, and I know you're just wearing helmets, probably with those stupid pillows on top too, you can learn a little bit more when it comes to that.
Hold on. Dr. Allen, I think Dr. Allen Sills did a full presentation about how they're awesome, AJ.
I saw that. Yeah, he's a very good doctor.
Well, you got to remember, though, and this kind of stinks for you older guys, these younger guys, and I was smartened up on this after the last time we chatted about these pillows that are going over helmets to help protect people in the offseason. These younger guys are doing this like Alabama, and they're doing it in college already. So they're just natural with this whole thing. Getting the old dogs to put these things on, it is going to be a thing. I think that's going to be a real.
You want to tell Trent Williams, hey, put this on your helmet, bud.
These young guys are like lucky. They've kind of been, I don't want to say indoctrined, but kind of like natural. It's almost natural to them to do it. And these old guys have never done it in their life. It's like, all right.
It might feel better though. Like I assume it when they have contact, does it feel better, or is it like when you wear headgear in boxing? It feels like it rattles your brain around when you put that on.
Well, you're a big proponent of all the things that really protect your brain, though, like mouth guards.
Absolutely. Right. I think you should. No, mouth guards, we know the science is not in on that, so don't worry about that. It's a different story. But as far as, like, I saw Alan Sills talks about the helmets, too, and how they rate them, and there's new age helmets, and people like to send me pictures of the new helmets, and I just haven't really seen one that is,
yeah, but
I feel like is acceptable.
Your head is maybe the firmest of all time.
What does that have to do with anything? It's
you
not,
wore a baseball cap as an NFL helmet that was 40 pounds. You used it as a weapon. It had zero protection, zero documented concussions. You just might have an incredibly thick skull that not everybody has.
So what does that have to do with what the helmets look like?
That's you openly speaking about your situation versus what other situations are. I think you should realize that you're gifted in that particular department.
Well, I think at the same time, some people should say, hey, I've been dinged up 10, 12 times wearing these space-age garbage helmets where this thing supposedly protects my jaw and I have zippers for my chin strap and it's so stupid and looks terrible and feels awful. Maybe I should throw my head in one of these old school helmets and see if it's any better, because this one obviously is not doing the job for me.
You hated the helmet meetings, huh? There was always helmet meetings every single...
that helmet looks all right, though. I don't mind that. That
thing's sick.
Yeah, it looks
That
nice.
actually doesn't look bad.
Some of them, when they
It
started...
actually has straps. You actually have straps there. And not in buckles. You don't have the stupid zipper thing.
Hey, by the way, that was a game changer when this move just became this move. You know what I mean? That was a different... That was
the high snaps, you mean?
No, the zipper. The, like...
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, since I didn't come up with one of those. The kids come up with them now, so they're used to it. I don't know if I can get used to that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with the pillow helmets too. I think like the kids are just like naturally comfortable with it, have quite an advantage. This is as the game was changing from your generation of tackling to the new generation of tackling. These kids are coming up with a strike zone and being able to adapt quickly, and also RPOs. I mean, there's a lot that the game has evolved into that the younger generation just knows. Like, it's just naturally what they do every single day.
Yeah, if you do it your entire life, and that's the same with the tackling that you just mentioned. Like, if these kids who weren't part of AJ or, like, the James Harrison era where you could hit wide receivers coming across the middle, like, if you're playing like that your entire life, it's not going to be, you know, a change once you get to the pros.
And think about this. Those kids are already making millions of dollars in college.
Yeah.
Good for them. Speaking of making millions of dollars, the NFL did just that off of Tyrann Mathieu's jersey sales. Broke the link on their website. Tyrann Mathieu at the New Orleans Saints back home in Louisiana signs a deal with the Saints for 2 years.
I think it was 333.
Yeah,
218.
218. Two for 18 to go back home. You can't even buy his jersey at some points during the day because the link is too fucking smashed. He crashed the website of the jerseys, and that's good news because Tyrann Mathieu's making 6 cents for every jersey that sells. Ain't that right, AJ? Ain't that right, AJ?
Yeah, maybe Tyrann should. Hopefully, he has his own shop and his own website. He can sell some jerseys or shirts that he has his own merch.
Congratulations being able to crash a website, though. That is not easy to do, especially in the world that we're in where everything is very mature and developed. Tyrann Mathieu going back to Louisiana is fucking awesome. The more and more I think about it.
And the Saints feel like one of those teams every year that just somehow puts together an unbelievable product, right? Like, they're going to be good.
We don't know. We don't know. Sean Payton's
Yeah,
good.
true.
Yeah,
New coach. But it's kind of like the Steelers where, like, no matter, you know, who they have on the field, like, their staff
But they had
is
Big Ben that whole time. Now
And
they don't
Tomlin.
have Drew Brees and their head coach.
Yeah, Tomlin and Ben. Like, I think that is two very important people in the culture to set the tone of what we're supposed to do. No Sean Payton, no Drew Brees, and we're not saying they're not going to be successful, but that's a little bit of something that you got to fucking figure out.
But happy for Honey Badger because I believe he tweeted that I saw. He said the first time he smiled in a few months, so he's very happy to go with the Saints. And
Holy
the
shit!
happy Honey Badger is a happy me.
What happened? Because remember, we didn't understand what took place with the Chiefs. Chiefs let him go, and then they signed Justin Reed like the next day for like $30-some million. It's like, whoa, so it wasn't a cash thing. Like, what the hell is this? And we all didn't really understand it outside. I don't think Tyrann understood it at all either.
No, I think he publicly commented like I was blown away. Like I was under the impression that we were going to get something worked out and that I was going to come back and be a Chief. I don't think he expected it at all.
So is that what much different level of performance with the Chiefs? Le'Veon Bell, though, didn't he say something about, like, hey, he felt he was lied to by the Kansas City Chiefs or something like that? He thought he was going to play there for a long time?
Oh, yeah.
You know what Le'Veon Bell said?
I stopped paying attention to anything he said.
That is what he said. And Badger said they didn't even offer him a contract. It wasn't as if they offered him that and they were trying to work something out.
So maybe Andy Reid's like, I hate goodbyes. Like, we just...
Yeah, sorry.
To
see you later.
Just rip the bandage off. We'll talk to him in 10 years. Hopefully he'll have better...
Then we'll have to do this
I'm
again.
so sorry.
I mean, Honey Badger not smiling.
His actual tweet was, I ain't smiling in a few months.
And he went to Disneyland. We saw him at Disneyland.
Was
How do you not smile there?
Well, depends on if you're in line. It was a long line.
If you're online there, it'd be tough.
If you get a
you're
churro,
in
you're
line.
smiling.
You churro?
If you get a churro at Disneyland, you're smiling.
Disneyland, Disney World. Which one was he at?
There were palm trees, right? So we
figured it was
palm trees above.
Could be either, California or Florida.
Thought it might have been Kennywood, but it wasn't.
Wasn't it Kennywood? Kennywood looks nice. I saw Kenny Pickett riding a ride.
Yeah, he did the local tour, even though he's been there for.
Yeah, but it's good. It's his town now. This is your town now. Speaking of Pittsburgh, they have a playoff game tonight.
Hell yeah!
Pittsburgh Penguins, New York Rangers.
Ooh.
Best first game of the playoff viewership in the history of hockey or something like that. The other night with the Pens and the Rangers, and then back-to-back nights again with the Bruins and the Hurricanes. It is working out well for the national television deal that the NHL worked with ESPN. People are loving NHL playoffs. The Pens and the greatest of all time, Sidney Crosby, back on prime time tonight. We have now the incredible opportunity to chat with a Stanley Cup champion, a man that's been there, done that, has played for the Penguins before, and the Rangers. Predicting the downfall of BDD, Big Dick Domingue, Louis Domingue, just on his Twitter hours ago. Ladies and gentlemen, host of That's Hockey Talk and a host on NHL Network, Mike Ross.
What is good?
You tell me, dude, not your predictions. Those aren't good. What happened? What's going on? You don't think Louis Domingue is going to continue to be incredibly hot? Sidney Crosby, after playing 6 periods, you think he's going to let the boys lose again? This is a clean sweep. We need a week break. Yeah. We need to rest up from that overtime game. The boys are trying to win. You think we got no shot tonight, Rob? What's this all about? Feels like you hate Pittsburgh. Why is that?
No, I don't hate Pittsburgh, man. Listen. It is so difficult in the playoffs to beat a team 2 games in a row, especially on their home ice. And the way it went down the other night, yeah, certainly they can win this game, man. They can win any game. Woo! But I just feel like this Rangers team is going to be a little bit different in this one. It's tough to win 2 in a row against the same squad, especially this close in a playoff series when you're just consumed. It's not like you play them today and then you play them next week. You have a couple games between. Like this is fresh on your mind. I think this Rangers team is going to come out flying here in the first.
You covered a lot of things on That's Hockey Talk last night. An incredible episode with King Henry on the show, Henry Gladquist, who I forgot that he had a heart thing. I asked him to come back and play for the Pens because we got a little bit of a goaltender. That was an awkward moment, I think, for all of us, but we powered through it. You spoke a lot about the first game, though, between the Pens and the Rangers, and obviously a lot of khakis in the stands, but you also talked about how there's a lot of blue-collar Rangers fans as well. Okay, I learned that. But you were also chit-chatting about how when the Rangers were cheating, you liked it. So the 5-minute major hit, elbow to the guy's jaw, leaving his feet, and a guy from Minnesota you said who already hits like a train, so he tried to kill this guy. That thing turns it from a 5-minute major, which we would have scored 4 goals probably, into a 2-minute just regular basic-ass penalty. You said shouldn't have even been a penalty. I'm like, whoa, oh my God, Rupper, what are you even thinking here? Then there's a goalie interference, clearly goalie interference. I mean, I played ball hockey, deck hockey growing up, and I watched it. I would know much more than you, but that was clearly goaltender interference, and you said, no, you didn't think so. It feels like you would like the Rangers to win this series. Is that because the Rangers are supposed to win this series? Are they supposed to win it this time? Is that what
they're supposed to. They're supposed to. This is, that Rangers team has owned the Penguins in a pretty substantial way all season, so that's why that game was so huge for Pittsburgh. No, I'm not rooting for either team in this situation. I'm not saying I want the Rangers to win. I'm just like, when I'm watching that game, that hit by Ryan Lindgren on Rickard Rakell, that's the problem that I find in hockey. We're learning about the concussions. We're trying to change the game. There's a big push to do it. I understand why we're doing it. I'm not an idiot, right? But, at the same rate, when you don't know a guy is coming to hit you, when you don't see him, you don't brace yourself. I don't care what it is. You're going to get, your head is going to get some sort of, you're going to get whiplash, you're going to get a conky, or you're going to get a concussion from getting hit in the face. Like, something's going to happen. Ricard Raquel had no idea that Ryan Lindgren was coming. I thought it was a really clean hit. Terrible results. I don't like seeing dudes getting up and falling down and looking like kind of Bambi on ice. Yeah, it was a nasty one. Then the play in the crease at the end, it was funny because I was talking with, on that talk, and I was telling these guys, like, I'm doing Colby Armstrong and I are doing the Pittsburgh broadcast, pre and post with Jay Caulfield, Rob King, and we're in there in the AT&T Sportsnet studio. And this happens at the end of the game. I'm like, that's a goal. They're reviewing. I'm like, that's a goal. Army's like, that's no goal. That's no goal. I'm like, dude, it's a goal. And we started sitting there, and the more time you watched it, I started moving towards his view, and he started moving towards mine. So I think that kind of just shows, man, this was a 50-50 call. It went the Penn's way. They got a huge win in that first game.
Love that.
Huge. Hey, Rupper, we were talking about the NFL helmets and how they make all these new space age looking things. I feel like hockey has kind of stuck with what you guys have had for a long time, and I've got my hands and actually put on a hockey helmet. That thing doesn't do anything. Like, that's not protecting anybody, is it?
I mean, it's certainly not like a football helmet.
They're so light.
Yeah, they're so light. They'll change the technology all the time, and use some. Yeah, there it is. Hey, is that Phil Borks?
What's that?
That one. That's Phil Borks, man.
It's
on
Ronnie
the back of those helmets, it says "not intended for use" on the back of that thing. That's what Borky used.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, it is just a basic plastic bucket. I mean, that's all you guys are.
Well, I'm not sure we're wearing those ones anymore.
Yeah, but you get it, though. It is much smaller than the NFL ones, and I think there's always been an interesting thing because, Tom Wilson, when he started making his run of being, like, the goon of the league, he was having, like, headshots. Like, he was timing up his shoulder checks for headshots almost, and guys were getting knocked out at a very regular basis. And I think this is at the same time as concussion information was kind of becoming the forefront of conversation in the sports world. Is there any adjustments to the rules that you guys make? Because, I mean, I know they try to slow down fighting, but fighting makes the game better. Those big-time hits, and I didn't like seeing Dick Rickle get fucking pounded like that, but those big-time hits are like what people in the arena, I mean, there's big pop in the arena whenever a hit like that happens. It's still what hockey is, though, isn't it, at its core, you think?
It is, and I think that's the part I kind of struggle with is, and I guess what I was referring to on the Raquel thing, because we were talking last night, too, during our show, we're watching. I mean, how many huge hits in that Boston and Carolina game?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A lot of dirty ones, too.
I mean, that was
non-stop. Boom, boom.
Dirty
We're
hits.
seeing guys going everywhere. So my big thing, though, it's like they're trying to, and not just in the NHL, we're talking every league going down to youth hockey. They're trying, which I agree with. You got to fix the hitter, the guy hitting. But the player receiving the hit, until there's a responsibility put on them, too, we're not going to see it ever go away. Because what we see is, he can't hit me here, so I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? It's a fast game, so that's kind of all part of it. To go off what AJ was saying, so the helmet technology changed, or they're changing like different, stuffing or padding, I should say, on the inside. And it's kind of funny. You guys remember the great Mark Messier, right? When I was playing actually for the Rangers, Mess is, he's around the Rangers. He's a Hall of Famer, and he came out with a helmet company. It was called the Messier Project. And he came down with the helmet by the locker room, and he's like, wanted some of us to wear them. And I don't know, when I played, I was a sucker for, I didn't care. I'll wear a Nike helmet. I'll wear Bauer skates. I'll wear CCM gloves. I'll use a Shearwood stick. It don't matter. I'll use anything. You want to pay me to use your twig? All I'm doing is flipping it out and flipping it in, dude. That's fine. I'll take it. So, anyways, Mess came and he's like wanted me to wear this helmet. He's like, just try it out. I tried this fucking helmet out. It looks like you look like Gazoo. You know what I mean? Like it looked like a spaceship.
Yeah.
And guys are like, what are you? And I kind of felt like Mess wanted me to wear it in the game. Tell me, and he's like, can you wear it in the game? Can you wear it in the game? So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I wore it in the game. And my headshot for the Rangers that year, in like a program, everything is that one fucking game where I'm wearing this spaceship helmet. Yes. I got the big M right on my forehead. It's terrible. So yeah, they've tried different things, but a lot of it doesn't stick. Guys are so like, this is what I do, this is what I wear, and they don't want bulky equipment.
It's the same exact thing in the NFL, literally same exact conversation. And Messier, Ranger legend, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely a reason why that was the shot in the. Hey, can you make sure that the photo of Rupp in here is my helmet too? That's good business, you know. Did that helmet never caught on? I assume.
No, it never caught on. It wasn't. There was a few players wearing it, kind of phased out, but that's what it is. Guys want to wear. They want to wear the same shit they've worn since they were, little kids playing the game. They want those brands. You wear a certain kind of skates, you never switch. Like it's really hard, I think, for equipment companies to make players switch sticks and switch skates for sure.
Well, routine, creatures. I mean, that's just kind of creatures of habit. If this is what I use, this is what I use forever. Hopefully they'll pay me. Hockey's such an interesting business. I don't really hockey, there's like no marketing really for the players. Hey, don't be different really for a long time. But now I feel like we're starting to learn more and more, which I think is good for hockey. But the hockey culture is so it feels like, oh, I'm just trying hard, trying to fucking help my team, Yeah, we had a good pass there, and oh, the boys really set me up nicely there. It was really good. What do you guys got to do in this third period? Well, hopefully we try our hardest, and they're fucking, we'll be able to win or whatever. Thank you so much. Like, that is what hockey has always been. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, it's, hockey has a really specific, I guess, upbringing or culture that I think is changing like everything nowadays. So it's changing in a different direction, but I think that's the big wrestling point, and a big point that people get stuck on is the physicality of it. And, not to go back to that, but it's like that's the big thing where it's like, well, hey, this isn't the Stone Age anymore. Like, I know. There's no straight up fighters. Like, you're not on an NHL roster, and it hasn't been like that for a number of years. If you're not on a roster just to fight, it used to be like that. You'd have your guy like that. So it's moving in that direction. But even marketing, like you're mentioning, Pat, you're right on with that. The league's starting to get better, and the players and the Players Association, everyone's starting to market the players a little bit more, because I think that's what you have to do.
Yes.
You have to. It's like the name of the game.
Sidney Crosby's the greatest player of all time. No motherfuckers know him. If he was to walk through Indianapolis, Indiana, I think he would just be able to get right through. Just go.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that, So I hope.
I played in. It was funny when I was in New Jersey. The great Lou Lamoriello is GM. He's the GM for the Islanders now. He's very strict with everything. We had to be. That's probably why I have a beard now. I was in that organization so long. No beards, cleanly shaven every day. Tie always has to be up. He's a professional way, like a kind of a military approach to everything. And it was awesome, and it won. And I remember at that time, though, he never wanted guys to get any kind of endorsement deals, anything locally. Like, you know how you have those funny ass car dealers.
C&J Consultant, yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you're like, come on down to whatever, and you see the athletes on there. It's fucking hilarious. It's great. It's a good little thing to do. No one ever did that. So I played with Marty Brodeur, who I think is the best goalie to ever play the game. Guys, I never saw this guy on a billboard. I never saw his face on an ad. It was always just a logo. And I'm like, dude, this guy, you're talking the best ever, right? So, I think that we're getting past that now, and that was a long time ago. So things are certainly changing from that regard.
It's good for the sport, especially for those of us that grew up in a hockey town, to talk to other people that aren't from one. It's like, no, this is a great sport. You should watch it. And then they watch the playoffs, and you're like, hey, this is crazy, but the playoffs are only finite, and then it's kind of move on. It's an interesting thing. I think the game is going to grow, though. It has to. Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, Robert, speaking of big hits, the Hampus Lindholm got absolutely obliterated behind the net. I think Pat was alluding to that in the Bruins-Carolina game last night. How hard is it going to be to replace, one of your 6 defensemen? And is he definitely out for the series? Because he got absolutely obliterated.
Oh, yeah, that was a big hit. And that guy, that's the other part about it, too. It shows how fast the game's like. Hampus Lindholm's been around a long time. He's a vet. He knows the game. Great defenseman, great at the trade deadline. I mean, for a team that already's looking a little shaky, that's saying it light in this series, losing him, that hurts a lot, man. So, I know you and I were
Bruins are dead.
Thought Pasta was going to come out with the big night, but
me too, Robs. Fucking told everybody.
But I think Brad Marchand will get on the score sheet. He's that guy to look to in Game 3 to kind of all right, this guy's out, cool. We're getting our asses kicked, cool. I'm going to go out there and do my thing, and he's a difference maker. So look for him to do something.
Is Kochetkov playing goalie for the Caniacs next game or not? Because I actually saw Marchand baseball bat him after a give and take in the middle of it. That was awesome. That was a good little joust there.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, not going to say cool. I just love seeing hatred.
Me too.
I sit there and I say, people are talking about the game in the Stone Age. When you say stuff like that, like people just want to take you literally. Like, oh, I love that. Like, I want to see fucking 10 guys on the ice baseball swinging each other. No,
we do not. We do not want to see that. No.
Yes, definitely do not want to see that. But what I like when you just playoff series and you're never getting everything you can out of your group until you hate the other group. That's why certain matchups are naturally, they're going to be good. If you're playing in a series against a team that you really don't have any crazy history against, you need someone to go out there and just try to throw some gasoline on the fire. You got it. And so Brad Marchand is the king of doing that. He did that. He got fined $5,000. So
Bullshit.
he knows it's for him. And Kachekov will, he wasn't hurt or anything. So he'll be back in there for Game 3.
I like that deep hatred, especially when your name's Igor Shishkovsky and you're waving at the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah,
because you have had a great season against the Penguins or whatever, and then all of a sudden when the playoffs come, you just get dunked on and dunked on and dunked on again. And then
Hey, Game 1, he
gave up 4 goals. Gave up 4 goals.
Yikes.
Guy gave up 4 goals.
Second most saves in playoff history.
Gave up 4 goals. I saw it.
Yeah, not enough saves.
He gave up 4 goals. Yeah, it was unbelievable. He was fucking outrageous. So was Casey DeSmith. That's why
all of them were.
Yes, it was insane. That game was awesome. Ratings up too, which is good news. Perfect game for it. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Rupper, we're talking about throwing gasoline on the fire. After 82 games during the regular season, the way I like to do it is I like to take my CCM after 82 games and fucking face wash a guy. What's your favorite way to get under a guy's skin during the playoffs?
Just doing shit like that, man. Just doing anything you can think of just to, you're taking a face off and it's like you invade their space. You stand in their personal space. They're like, then you kind of get a gauge when you lean on a guy on a face off, like what he has the appetite for. If you lean on him and it's a wet noodle, you're like, oh, I'm going to have my way with this guy. If you lean on him and he's got a little pushback or he lets you know, like, little fuck you, gives you a little shot, and you're like, all right, here we go. So I think the big thing in the playoffs, I don't know, it's kind of funny when you watch it. It feels like just part of it when you're out there playing. It's kind of silly, like, when you watch, because now that I'm not playing, there's a whistle in front of the net. And, like, if you just stand there, that's what I always used to say to guys, too. Like, you don't have to fight. You don't have to go in there if you don't know how to be that or that's not your personality. Just stand there a little bit longer than you're supposed to. Whistle, stand in front of the goalie and just look at him. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to. It's like you fucking did the worst thing of the worst, and everyone's going to come in right in the face. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's all you got to do. I don't know why. It's kind of funny when we look at it like that. Every whistle, just loiter around a little bit longer. Drag your feet getting out of the crease. Just stand there. Guys lose their mind for some reason. All it takes is one little dumb penalty to go against the other team because they're pissed off at you. You get a power play goal, it could change the series.
Hey, that's part of the game. That's part of the strategy, huh?
Yeah, it is part of it, man. It's that's what the playoffs. Even like in Game 1 in that Toronto and Tampa series, Kyle Clifford, big physical guy. People were surprised he was in the lineup for Jason Spezza, who is more of a skilled guy, right? But they wanted to have some pushback. Well, you got to handle that emotion right. This is like first or second shift of the game. He comes in, he gets a 5-minute major tossed from the game.
Yes.
He's, he got
4 goals.
But that could have lost them the game. Thankfully for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they killed that 5-minute major off and they ended up winning the game. But that's kind of part of it. Like, you have to bring your emotion to here. Well, you got to funnel it the right way. You do one stupid thing, it literally can change the entire series. So, yeah, you push everyone's buttons, but you got to be smart about it.
Rupper, I know this guy is hurt, but he likes to push people's buttons and dominate people. But Tom Wilson, what are your thoughts on him, and what does he bring to a team?
Bro, the Capitals were not supposed to do what they were supposed to do. How come everybody just loved this brand new Panthers team over the fucking Capitals who are champions? That was surprising to me whenever I was watching that game and you see Ovechkin celebrating everything, and they were like, well, the Panthers are heavily favored in that. I'm like, over that fucking team. I guess it's because Tom's hurt, but that team is always good. And Tom is like somebody I wish was a Penguin. I fucking wish that guy was a Penguin.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. It's like Tom Wilson is he's that nuclear weapon in the NHL right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's different. He can he can fight anybody and most likely beat everybody up. But the bigger thing is he plays with Ovi. Like, he's good. Like, he's a really good player, and he's huge. He hits like a truck. He's he's jacked. He can skate like the wind.
He's attractive. He's smart.
Yeah, he's
funny.
It's like
funny. He's charming.
You look at this guy, and
He
it's like
recovers fast.
he's a unicorn. There's no one like him in the league. And so I remember this guy after they won the cup. I think it was after they won the cup. He signed a big deal for a guy that plays with those kind of elements. Signed a massive deal. You know how the internet works. Everyone just starts destroying this guy, and it's like, come on, guys. Like, can't you be happy? Like, can't you just be happy? Everyone make money. Go do your thing. You know, like, what are we shitting on people for? Like, good for him. And I did a shoot in Washington. And I saw him, and I started talking to him, and like, it's just, he was feeling that, but at the same time, it's like, hold on a second. You got to look at yourself, and I'll tell you this: if you are playing on a Sidney Crosby's line, Connor McDavid, Alex Ovechkin. If you're playing on that line and they don't want to play on your line, you say Stoner? On Stoner's line. If you're playing on their line and they don't really want to play with you, guess what? You're not fucking playing with them. They're going to go in there and tell the coach, like, nah, get this guy out of here, So Tom Wilson gets to play with Ovi. I'm like, you have the endorsement of playing with a guy who might be the all-time greatest goal scorer. Your team paid you a shit ton of money. Every other team out there would trade anything for you. The Washington Capitals have you as an untouchable. I mean, this guy can do everything. So, yeah, man, this is his time to shine. You saw, like you mentioned, AJ got banged up the other night. I don't know what's going on with him, but if he's out, that's a huge loss because that was a huge win for them in Game 1 because I didn't think they had a chance.
Yeah, that's what everybody thought. I don't understand that. Are they still the same? Is Kuznetsov on that fucking team?
Yeah.
Is he? Like, what? These guys just get old? They're not slow? Is Ovechkin not just sniping dimes in the net? Like, what happened? Is the Florida Panthers just that good?
The Florida Panthers, I think, had the most goals in the league this year. Their offense is silly. But the problem is that they've won games a lot this year. They call them the comeback cats, right? Because they're falling behind the games and they're like scoring 6 goals in the third period and they're doing some crazy shit. They've been a really fun team to watch. Like a casual fan, you might want to root for those guys. Like they're hilarious to watch because they're never ever out of a game. They can blow up and put 5-6 up in a period. But they haven't really had to deal with. We haven't seen how they navigate through games of adversity. I mean, they've been so good. They can play a shitty game and still win 4-1. Like, because they score 4 goals. Like, you know what I mean? So they're starting to maybe see it a little bit here. But as far as like Ovi and the Caps, their big thing was their goaltending. They didn't have great goaltending. They didn't really have a true starter. So I thought that's what made them vulnerable. Best offense versus a team who doesn't know who their goalie is. Like, that seems like it's a pretty easy recipe there. But Caps proved everybody wrong in Game 1.
Penn's got 3 goalies, so
Yeah.
maybe 4. Who knows? I don't even know this next guy that's potential.
Diorio.
Yeah,
Diorio.
Yeah, he's Diorio's player, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Gumpy, your question for Stanley Cup champion Mike Rupper.
Yeah, Rupper, is Texas hockey going to absolutely steal one in Calgary tonight or what?
I almost couldn't even listen to the question. Could you put Gumps back on again? That was incredible.
Is Texas hockey going to win or not, Rupper?
Answer the question,
We're
Rob.
plus 200 tonight, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
Calgary's a tough barn.
Calgary's a tough barn. They lost Game 1, 1-0. That leaves me to think, like, Calgary won 1-0. And Calgary is a much better team all year than Dallas. That makes me think, like, did Texas hockey miss their chance? You know what I mean? It's 1-0. Yeah, like your goaltender put it in an unbelievable. Jake Ottinger put in a crazy performance. I wish I could tell you otherwise, Gums. I think they go down 0-2. I think they go back to Dallas.
They're dead. Texas hockey's dead.
Boston's dead. 0-2's a good place to be.
All right. Anyways, Bruins are dead.
No.
Texas hockey's dead.
See ya.
See you later. Pens are going to be the only team that's going to survive because we're beating the Khakis tonight. Whether you like it or not, Rob.
Hey, hold on though. You're taking what I'm saying for other teams being dead is gospel, but then you're saying that the Penguins are going to win. So what is it?
Well,
you believe in me?
I know more about the Pens than any of these other teams. To be honest, when he says Texas hockey, it takes me a moment to remember who the fuck is that the name of the actual team? Like, is this Washington football team situation? And then it's like, no, this is Dallas Stars. Okay, of course, that's who he's talking about. So obviously, I'm gonna listen to you on that team.
No, it makes sense. Total sense.
But the Pens, I know inside out. Me and, God, are you kidding me? Me, Ron Francis, Tommy Barassa. We used to just hit the ball around on the street there at Plum. You know what I mean? We do that whole thing. Speaking of ball hockey, world champion Nick Moraldo, your question for Rupper?
Ruppy, you talked earlier about having the mental edge in the playoffs and getting in a guy's face and kind of throwing him off his game. Can you tell us about the time you took your big bear paw, your big mitt, and took a swipe at your best friend, Marty Brodeur, punched him right in the mouth?
What? Why are you doing that?
Yeah. So, that was so I was disowned as a New Jersey Devils alumni for a little while, but I was able to get back in good graces. But so I'm playing biggest rival for the Devils, New Jersey Devils, and New York Rangers. I grew up playing in the Devils organization, won a cup there. Marty was the big reason. Marty basically Brodeur delivered us a Stanley Cup, and now I'm playing for the Rangers. Fast forward probably 9 years later. I'm playing for the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Winner goes to the Stanley Cup. And we're in this series. We got zero emotion. Like, we're burnt. We played two series of 7 games each prior to that one. The Devils were like a buzzsaw, man. They're taking it to us. So I think we're losing the game like 3-0. Torts puts me out there for a face-off. And I go out there, and I know in this situation, he's put me out there after this goal by the Devils. Like, we got to try to change some momentum. He didn't tell me anything. Didn't say what to do. I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was just like, I got to piss someone off here. I got to get like some emotion back into our group. And so,
Send in the gun.
What's that?
Send in the disruptor. We need
anyways, I go in there. The game's like 3-0 or whatever it is. I go in there and I finish a hit. I hit a guy really, really. I thought it was fine. I hit him good. And the referees, I think, they understood what my demeanor was there, so they just gave me a penalty just to get me off the ice, you know. And so I was pissed. I like pull my mouth guard. I'm like yelling at the ref. And then as I'm skating by, I see my boy Marty Brodeur standing right there. And I just reached across and it was an open fist, shoved right like in the chin and chest, and he threw back into the crossbar. And it just started as melee, and guys are flying in, jumping, and trying to hit me in the head. And and I got tossed from the game, but it ended up not working. Like, we ended up losing, I think, that series. In 5 games. But hey, it did stir up the boys, though. The boys that came in the room, like, we just got our asses handed to us, and they came in, they're like, that was fucking awesome. But it took a little bit of time. Marty and I made up over beers a couple years back, so I can show my face again back in New Jersey.
He was probably so pissed.
Yeah.
Guy I know. I'm also GOAT status at this point. A little respect, please, for me. And you just blindside him with you motherfucker. He probably had to be so angry about that thing. Honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. He didn't talk to me, so I don't know how mad he was. But yeah, we're good now. That's all that matters. Yeah, but that's the thing. I had to do it for his team. Like, come on, man. I'm no free passes. We're talking about going to the Cup Finals.
Yeah, right. You benefited from this, Marty.
Yeah.
The same exact shit. I used to just blindside goalies all the time.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Foxy.
Yeah, Rupper, who are the Red Wings going to hire to save the franchise and ultimately save the NHL at the end of the day?
The Red Wings are dead!
Whoa.
So dead!
Hey, you know what? The answer might be right under their noses there, Foxy. You know why? Because whoever runs their social media team put a 3.5-minute video today of Detroit Red Wings season highlights. If you could find 3.5 minutes worthy of highlights from this, like fucking hire that person. Like, that person knows a lot about you.
I agree.
Because it was 3.5 minutes, a lot of scenics, a lot of shots of the city in this talk. But that's maybe no. But hey, the Wings are a tough one, because I've been telling you this all year. I actually really, really, really believe they have a bright future.
No way.
Let's go. 40 or 50 games this year where I'm like, hey, they're fine, man. They took a step forward. This is a different team. They got some weapons. They got some young guns in that group. And then like the last 25 games, 30 games, they just went right back to what they were over the last number of years.
No. They are who we thought they were.
They start thinking.
This next year's got to be different. Like, they need to go. They don't have to make the playoffs, but they have to play meaningful hockey. Like, Vancouver they were a very long shot of making the playoffs at the end of the year, but they at least played meaningful hockey all the way to game 79, 80. Okay, that's what the Wings need to do next year. If they don't do that, I think you come in. They already fired the coach, right?
Yeah, if they got a new coach, they got a new culture. Eiserman's sitting up there just collecting a paycheck, letting the boys run right into the mud.
Bingo.
Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be the coach?
Fucking Eiserman,
Scotty
maybe?
Bowman.
He said the fucking social media manager.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good candidates out there.
Bring Tortorella over.
Datsuk.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna wait till the playoffs are over to probably name someone, because you know how these playoffs go. One of these coaches, if it doesn't go, some of these teams have a lot of pressure. There might be some more coaches available if teams get swept or knocked out early.
Hey, congrats! You just lost in the playoffs. Now you get a death sentence. Come on up to Detroit.
Yeah, maybe Sidney
Go to
Crosby
die.
loses, retires, and then coaches the Red Wings.
Sidney Crosby's still the best player in hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best on both sides. Like the best complete player. Yes.
The
Best
game
off-
of hockey.
Yes, but the best complete player. Like, give me a guy that could do everything. He is the guy. If you're just going to say, give me offense, he's very good still, but he's not the best in that department. But all-around player, yeah, 100%.
Not the best still.
What are you talking about? Gensel was about to get every fucking hat from every khaki in New York the other night.
Yeah,
you know
probably
why?
tonight,
Because he
too.
plays on Sid's line.
Yeah, unless Bill Carr's ringing the bell tonight.
Hey, I can't believe that. I am. All right, who's winning it all? I would like you to make a prediction right now. Who wins it all?
I got Tampa right now. I mean, these things are ever changing, man. Listen, I came in, and just to go off what we talked in the top, I picked the Rangers to win this round after Game 1. I thought it was going to be a short series for the Rangers. After Game 1, the way the Penguins dominated periods 2 through the third overtime, I'm like, this is going to be a series, man. It's going to go a long time. I'm not there yet to say the Pens are going to win, but it's a good series. Now, I after Game 1, I picked Tampa. Tampa looked like shit in Game 1, and but they came back last night in a big way. So I think Tampa three-peats, man, 3 in a row.
Oh, really? All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for all the great stories and insight. But you need to stop with this anti-Penguin favoritism, because you were a journalist who made a prediction of the Rangers, and then it wasn't working out that way. Okay, it is what it is. Reality is depends and depends.
What if the Pens win? You're going to want me to pick Rangers every game the rest of the way, no?
No, I don't believe in it. I'm not a child.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but you are putting that out in the universe that the Rangers are going to beat the Pens, so let's fucking stop that. Ladies and gentlemen, Stanley Cup champion, host of That's Hockey Talk and on NHL Network, Mike Rupp. Thank you, buddy. I love that man.
Yeah, he's the best.
It's awesome.
He's just he's a hockey you.
Mm-hmm.
Much cooler.
No, hockey guys are the best. Like, hockey guys have the best stories. They're fun.
Yeah, they're big booze bags too, and somehow none of their stories ever get out. That's almost like they're so good at keeping bad stories out, but they're also really good at keeping good stories out too.
Yeah.
You know, the hockey's really good at just not letting any information out. This is a lockdown situation. No bad stories are getting out. Guess what? No good stories are getting out either.
Nope.
Ain't nobody going to know about us except for the cities we're in. That feels like that may be changing. Let's go, hockey.
I hope so, because every time you hear one of these stories, they are absolutely hilarious. And you're right. It's like, oh, okay, well, I never knew this guy even existed. But,
They had no
but here
idea.
he is.
Yeah.
Fucking, how about him just face washing Marty Brodeur?
Unbelievable. Did you see AJ grind his teeth into dust when Rupper mentioned a mouthpiece?
Yeah. By the way, I was going to stop him
You
talking.
need to in hockey. Hockey, you need, not for concussions, just for the puck.
You will lose some chompers.
Oh, wow. You've already been presented with this case before.
Yes,
that was
No,
an
it makes
answer
sense.
quick.
It makes complete sense. You don't have a face mask on. Of course you should wear a mask.
I agree, but you have thought about this before. You have given an answer. You have been tried by the hockey community in the mouth guard conversation, and you have said, no, it's for the puck. That was an incredible answer.
Yeah, quick.
That was very good.
Good job, AJ.
Hey, did you know that Tampa Bay won the last 2 Stanley Cups?
Yeah, they were cheating too with the salary cap, and we were actually down there the last time they won it. Go Boats.
Go Boats.
Go Boats.
They are now, I believe, 15-0 off after a loss. So pretty good gambling opportunity if they lose a game.
They're big, they're fast, they're powerful. They've won before. It's like they're an easy team to pick, and the community is behind them.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Down in Tampa, they do love the Lightning, we will say.
Rupper described their goalie last night, Andrei Vasilevsky, as basically Gronk in hockey pads playing goalie. He's like 6'6". Most goalies are built like Foxy and myself, kind of skinny stooges. Vasilevsky, they call him the big cat. He's a monster.
Big cat on the Lightning, not to be confused with the other cats, the Florida Panthers,
Yeah.
the comeback cats.
That's right.
The big cats playing goalie for Tampa Bay, which is a Lightning, which is a Storm reference, which wasn't made there.
No.
But the comeback cats are the Florida Panthers. They can be down, they'll come back.
That is right.
Yep.
Vastly different cats there. What's going on?
He also said the Capitals goalie, not the one that started last game, you could find at any arena at any game, any night of the week.
Jeez. No, it was the one that started last.
Oh, the one that started last game, yeah.
It's a bit of a shot.
And he won.
So he said he's a bad goalie.
Bad goalie.
He was referencing more so his gear. He doesn't have goalies usually look pretty sharp.
Yeah, it's a part of the costume. It's big as soccer goalie, same thing, right?
Yeah.
The costume's a big deal.
This one necessarily does not give a fuck. He'll just wear whatever and do whatever.
Kind of like that guy. Kind of like that guy. Kind of like that guy. All right, we got to get to a break. Nah, we might as well just run this out.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, the Florida Panthers GM's name, I believe, is Bill Zito. Any relation?
Zito?
No relations.
Cleared that up. Thanks. Put it on the ticker.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phone. Let's go to the 5
It's not
hour.
like anybody knows Zito's name anyway. So.
No.
True.
His
Well,
name
that's
is
why
Zito.
we're kind of excited to know if Zeke was the last name potentially. Let's go to the phones.
Maybe next time.
Let's go to Aaron in Mississippi. M-I.
SSI.
SSI.
PPI.
What's going on, Aaron?
Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo, Pan the boys.
Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo! Got a tequila here, huh? A little Cavassi.
What?
Ladies, man.
Hey, recent listener of the pod, and I just had a quick question for the boys. It is Thursday, so I was wondering if y'all were going to attend the Titty Sucking Thursday event tonight. Jesus. And
Yeah, they're going. Aaron, great call. Great call. That was good. You guys heading to the Titty Sucking Thursday?
What the hell is he talking
It's
about?
Cinco de Mayo. I didn't know. You guys heading?
The staple of
The journey's in town. I'm head Donner.
What he was going to ask about was going to be a great conversation too. I'm happy we went to Titty Sucking Thursday.
What was he going to ask about?
Jerry Jones, I think.
Oh.
So it would have gave us like a minute and a half, shot clock to talk about that. That would have been a perfect.
Is Jerry okay?
He's all right.
Yep.
Listen, it feels like he was about to be better than ever.
Yeah.
And
Is
then
that where Jerry was going?
feels like Jerry was better than ever, and then ended up in a goddamn hospital. That guy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Why is he driving?
Yeah.
Why is Jerry driving?
He needs a limo.
You should just take that bus everywhere he goes. Even if he's heading to part of town that they're saying he was headed to.
Right.
Take the goddamn bus down there, probably get a better deal.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
A couple more.
Allegedly, Jerry was living is what the internet said, but the internet is going to let their jokes fly regardless. Jerry's okay, they said, and very alert. His draft card was deciphered by a internet sleuth, though. We'll continue that conversation on the other side of YouTube. Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. Cheers. Nailed it.
Nice. Let's go, huh?
Fucking nailed it. Even like announced like a post show.
On screws.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, we have a post show. It's going to
Tease.
happen.
Felt good.
That's big time. Yeah, so the draft card that Jerry showed whenever he was questioned about his pick because he picked a guy from Tulsa and everybody had questions, and he started saying, well, you won't see where we fucking had him? We had him.
Look.
He did his whole thing. He held it up, and then Stephen Jones goes, don't show him that, Jesus. And Mike McCarthy goes, oh. And that was kind of the entire interaction. And we thought at first that it wasn't able to be picked up because of how far away the cameras were, and I think how startled everybody was that it was happening, and with the way, cameras record things and how it's felt, whatever the case. People have figured it out on the internet because of how long the names were, how long the schools were, how long all the information, the height and the variables were. They were able to figure it out. And both the top two on the Cowboys draft board were taken by the New York Football Giants.
Wow.
Thibodeau, Evan Neal, number 1 and 2 for the Dallas Cowboys, and they both end up at the New York Giants within the division. But I wonder how many others had the draft board the exact same way, and how many others in the future will give away their entire rating of the entire draft directly after the first round. That would be awesome if that would continue that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal, is
Me
it?
neither.
I mean, who gives a shit?
People are making it out to be a big deal. I think we even said this would be tough. This is a tough look to come back from. Kind of a Logan Roy move. Kind of a Logan Roy move here. Kind of maybe is he, what a vote of confidence here if you're showing your entire draft card to the cameras or whatever. But I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Who cares what they ranked all these players as? Now, the player they took in the first round, they had him graded as a second rounder, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. They may have heard that over the course of his career. Do you think someone may have told him that? Hey, say he becomes an absolute monster. Okay, we actually had you at a second-round grade.
The tackle out of Tulsa might become a guy, and we're very, hopeful of every guy becoming a guy. But every passing day, it's feeling like Bill Belichick with Cole Strange.
What?
Oh no, it's trending.
The internet's questioning it. Doctor Strange is trending every day, and it's
What about it? Like conspiracy theories or just what?
It's normally one-on-ones from the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that.
Somebody put together an
don't
entire
look.
cut up. So there was like
This poor kid.
Dude, this poor kid.
Yeah.
This poor kid with McVay and Snead, and then, Shanahan's even talking about him. Belichick's drafting him by he can go on to do whatever. But at the Senior Bowl, he had a couple rough one-on-ones, and they were all kind of put together in packages by the people that were beating this guy in one-on-ones because the teams around the defensive nose tackles and D tackles that were beating Cole Strange, obviously they would all like the world to see that their guy beat the hell out of Bill Belichick's guy at the Senior Bowl when they got an opportunity. This might be a second rounder, a third rounder, a fourth rounder. So they're leaking this onto the internet, this footage, and then somebody compiled all of them into one video, and there is... If you were to show everybody's lowlights in one consecutive thing, I think you would naturally feel bad about the person. Like Klay Thompson, if you watch ESPN yesterday, you think he couldn't shoot. They showed all of his misses. It was like, this guy, worst shooter on the planet. That's what's happening with Cole Strange right now. Bad play after bad play after bad play after bad play is hitting the internet. And it's because it's the other guys that had success against Bill Belichick's guys are very happy about it.
Yeah, and because he's a Patriot, definitely, I think, plays a factor in it too. But Bill's going to get his paws on him. He's going to figure it out. He's going to be playing next to two unbelievable players. And let's keep in mind, this is a one-on-one. We're talking 11-on-11 football. I don't care what happens on a 1v1 versus D tackle. I care what happens on 11-11 versus D tackle.
I understand that some, drills aren't necessarily set up for everybody to have success, but one-on-ones have been happening for a long time.
Yeah.
long time.
I thought the rest of their draft was questionable too.
Well, that's because I think
they're wrong.
I don't know if Bill has a scouting department. It's just whichever pro days he makes it to. Like he wanted this one on the road.
Before you run, are you going to be able to run? Okay. Yeah, I mean that drill is not set up for the offense.
Yeah, it's an outside run left.
Yeah,
that one.
I mean, why is he's not a tackle. Why is he blocking like a tackle?
Exactly.
Well, there's him in the middle, right?
that
But,
one.
I mean, we don't know what that guy's jump is either. Like, okay, there.
By the way, he got
pass
the
set.
yeah, he got
That's a
pretty
good
good.
pass.
Good rep. Good rep.
All right, enough. I feel bad for this. Oh, that one actually falls right on his face. I think. That one that they're about to say. It's not good. There's some things that you think to yourself like, oh, this has to be wrong because Bill Belichick drafted this guy. But I feel like because Bill Belichick, greatest GM and greatest coach of all time, both same person. It's crazy. Greatest GM, greatest coach of all time, same person. Every decision he makes, we just kind of write off as, yeah, whatever. But also, I think the Patriots fans' expectations of the draft is like, yeah, this is going to be an interesting ride. He had a dog making the picks last year. I mean, this whole thing is just like, they just have utmost faith and blind loyalty, right, to the whole process.
I don't know if everyone does. I definitely do, but I think a lot of people in New England, every time this happens, it's almost cyclical every single year. Bill's an absolute madman. He's senile. Then we get to the season, and everything that they were saying is wrong, and those guys play well. Okay, he's good. Then the season ends, and then we're going back into the draft. He's senile. He's making these ridiculous picks. His dog's picking. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I don't think everyone feels that way, but that's why it doesn't make sense why these people do it every year, because when the season starts and Cole Strange is playing very well.
Cole Strange is fullback.
Yeah, he's playing fullback.
Even because they said he got rid of the fullback position, right? Maybe he did. Maybe it's just offensive linemen that can move, because it looks like Strange is yoked up. What if he's running halfback for them or whatever, and that's what he's thinking about? What is up, Zito?
Do you think Bill put this out himself so when he becomes a very, very good player, like I told you guys?
This is like the doctor that did Carson Wentz's foot surgery that said his expected comeback time, 19, 20 weeks, came back in 3.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Expectations much lower. You exceed them, you're a stud. That's
a good idea.
Good coaching.
Connor can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the possession of Bill is he's a great GM in the sense of free agency and roster manipulation. I don't think he drafts that well. So
is it because he doesn't have enough time?
It's not even that he doesn't draft well. He gets good picks, but his top picks are the ones that never do what they're supposed to do. His first round picks aren't good. That's why the joke is always
you guys are always around 32, though.
Yeah, always later in the draft. But then the other thing is he loves his 5th and 6th round picks because he always finds a gem in those later rounds.
But Bill Polian, same thing, by the way. Bill Polian hit on first rounders, obviously. When you look at Reggie, Edge, Peyton, and many others that he's drafted first round. But that 4th, 5th, 6th, I wonder what it is about some people being able to have success there, or is it all just luck?
Yeah.
I wonder if it all is just luck too. Not
Little bit.
that they don't have any skill or talent or anything, but if a guy's going to be good or not, I think that's so hard to predict.
And it's very rare that Bill pays his first-round picks. Like Chandler Jones was one of the better first-round picks he's had in the last 8 years or so. There was no chance he was going to pay him what he was worth when it comes around because in his mind, well, I'll find a guy in the 4th round, or like Nick said, I'll get a guy in free agency who's probably half the price.
Is that going to continue to work in the modern NFL?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Won't we?
Great. Yes, we will. Bill Belichick, it will.
Yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
I trust the fucking guy.
Yeah, me
everybody
too.
does.
And a lot of stuff I've seen on the internet, at least about this Baylor wide receiver they took in the 2nd round, was the quarterbacks at Baylor just like couldn't hit him, which I feel good about at least.
Hey, just real quick, you guys going to Tay Sucking Thursday or not?
If someone lets me know where it fucking is, I will.
Not tonight.
It's Thursday.
Where is that?
I don't know. You
It's in
tell me.
Mississippi, I think. I don't know if you guys are going to make it.
I mean,
I
that-
don't think so.
I don't know what that would go like.
Or you go to Kenny Chesney.
You know what it goes like. It's in the
Don't
name.
take that lightsaber over there.
I think it's a bunch of cows line up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You guys just go down there.
Suck whatever udder you want.
Suck it. Free milk.
Titty sucking Thursday.
I mean, in Waterloo for sure.
Yeah, free.
Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Easy,
they kill the
dude.
cows in front of you.
Let's go to the phones on the 5Energy phone line. Go to 5Energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order.
Whoa.
That's right. Don't forget that there are so many delicious flavors of 5-Hour Energy.
Yeah.
There's over 15 flavors to choose from, and we are 125 days away from NFL football.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
We can take that 5 hours at a time, and it'll be here in no time, especially with our friends at 5-Hour Energy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. Let's go to Zeke in Columbia. Is that the country, the city? What's going on, Zeke?
Ezekiel?
Where's the lights?
Elias's younger brother.
What's going on?
Hey, Zeke, what's going on? Are you Elias's younger brother?
No, I'm just some guy in Missouri. You know what it is.
Columbia,
yeah.
Missouri.
Hey, my birthday's today, so my gift to myself was to sit on the line all day, and I'm glad I did.
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Zeke.
Hey, baby Zeke, another year, man. Happy birthday, dude. Happy for you, dude.
Thanks, Patty. Hey, first, I want to talk about the NIL deal, but first, I usually ride with Tone, Steelers fan, but fuck Kenny Pickett. Don't care about it. Tired of the bullshit.
Wow. Zeke, bringing a little negativity out
Holy
there.
shit.
I don't know what that means, though.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen Kenny
Tired
Pickett
of
attempt
bullshit.
in the NFL yet.
He's a Mitch guy, I guess.
I saw Julian Edelman laugh at him.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was messed up.
That was awesome. Did you see that, AJ?
No, what happened?
He was on the Green Light Pod. I think it was the live draft, and he cracked a great joke. Good delivery. Pissed off a lot of people in Pittsburgh. He said, if I'm showing up to a throwing session or whatever and my quarterback's got gloves and long sleeves on, I'm saying, where's the next quarterback or something along those lines. Hilarious. It was awesome. I enjoyed that he said it. He pissed off a lot of people, though, in Pittsburgh. I mean,
no, he didn't make it as a fucking quarterback.
all right.
So.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure when he showed up at camp,
See,
Tom
that's-
looked over and saw a 5'3" white guy. He said, "Get him out of here."
Yeah, all right. So, listen, that's what I'm talking about there. That's what happened.
I didn't say it. I'm a fan of Jules. You know
Me
that.
too. Me as well. Big fan. Got a chance to hang out with him. The thought, though, that Kenny Pickett could be incredible in the NFL is real.
Yeah.
The thought that Kenny Pickett could be terrible in the NFL also could be a real thing.
That's right.
Excited to watch it. Got the moxie. Feels like he's got the
He's got
moxie.
the moxie.
He's been in the building. Mike Tomlin was on with Rich Eisen, chatted about how, they've seen him mature and develop in that building as a leader and what they're expecting, and they know what they're going to get. I mean, that team needs a quarterback, obviously.
Cut Mason.
All right. Well, see.
He's a good player, Nick.
Cut
Yesterday.
him.
He's a good player.
Let's go to Andy in Texas.
Poison in the water hole.
What?
No moxie. Can't have a beer with the guy.
Can't do it.
Whoa.
Why not? Why can't you have a beer with him?
That's what I've heard.
No moxie.
Have you seen him? I mean, it doesn't seem like a guy you have beer with. Why?
I don't
Why?
know.
He
Can you tell
crushes
that?
interviews.
Yeah, you can, I think.
I can't picture his face without that dumb look on it after he got the helmet bonked off it. And that's just a guy who's impartial, I see that every fucking time I look at his mug.
Ty.
It's true.
Him on Rome, he was unbelievable on Rome.
That surely didn't help. But
Romeo was like, oh shit.
Is he bonked?
yeah, yep. After he got bonked.
That's a great way to describe it.
Yep.
It's like that whack-a-mole game.
Yeah, it really was.
Anyways, Mason, has not won over a lot of people in Pittsburgh, I don't think. And that's what you're hearing here. Obviously, the opinions of the others here in the John Deere and the Yinzers do not reflect that of their employer.
They're not going to keep 3 quarterbacks, though.
They might. You never know.
What?
They might.
They normally do.
Yeah, I mean, then one's going to not – Mason's just going to be there and not dress.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why there's no reason for him.
Get lunch and stuff.
No.
They did draft another quarterback, too. So.
Mason's got to be great in the film room.
Yeah, he is a film room dog.
He's got to be. Got to be. Why else would they keep him around? Why else would they like him?
keep him in there.
Like Tomlin and Colbert have stuck by him, I think, pretty good, right?
Well, yeah, because they took a second-round pick on him.
Oh, so you think it's just them being stubborn at this point?
Extended him.
And since Colbert's gone now and they're doing a second round of the next GM's going to be like, okay, well, it's no longer like your fault anymore. Get the fuck out of here.
See ya.
That's interesting.
It does feel like Mason is destined for Detroit in some aspect.
Let's go.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, Detroit's turning around.
Yeah,
Can throw to Jameson
We
Williams.
still got Drew Blau back there and TB12 at the backup.
Hey, Drew Blau was a Thanksgiving sensation.
He was. He was slinging it.
All right, let's get to a break, 21 hours or so. Hammer, Dahn. We'll be in 15, 20 minutes. Can't thank you all enough. I think we're going to Germany.
Hell yeah! When is that game?
November 13th.
Sweet. Who's playing?
Tampa and
Seattle.
Oh, good game, too.
Great game. I think we're going to try to go. We have to.
I've never been to Germany.
You won't come. You won't come, AJ.
Are you able?
You won't
If
come.
you're, are we going to actually set it up? I would assume since this is international, it's
Are
one of
we
the things
actually
we're
gonna set
actually
it up?
playing.
This guy. What's your
fucking
Hey,
deal?
What
just
is your
like the
deal?
draft, check the date, dude.
Yeah, dude. November
Huh?
13th.
Talk.
I will absolutely. I would love to go.
Okay, cool. We're going to try to set this up and make this a full thing.
Yes.
Everything I talked about the NFL should be doing yesterday, I think we should try to do whenever we go over there. We're very lucky to be a part of this NFL steward community.
That's right.
And the analytics tell us that a lot of people watch in Germany and in surrounding areas over there in Europe. So it's like we should at least go over there, especially with Bjorn Werner being there, and like, a little bit of.
I got some family. A lot of my family came from there. I want to go.
Hawk. You can go stop by your place. I don't know how long we're going to be there. I don't know if this is going to be a tourist thing. I don't know, AJ. I don't know if it's going to be there.
Oh, I'm not into the tourist thing.
But Munich, great city though. I've been there before.
I'd like to rent a little Vespa though and cruise around.
Okay, yeah, small roads. Small roads, be able to bounce around. Should be good.
Should we go for like a week though? Since you might as well.
Just might as well do like a radio road.
Yeah, might as well just.
We're gonna fly 8 hours.
Bayern Munich. See the lads.
Might as well do like a Monday to
Do
Monday.
they play then? Will they be playing then?
Oh yeah. Could go to a Champions League game.
We go to a soccer game, really?
We should do that.
I've never
European
been.
Vacation,
I would like to
PMS.
go to.
PMS German vacation.
Bring the vuvuzelas.
Vuvuzelas.
Guten Tag.
Whatever it is, you got. I still don't know how to do one of those. I know they're very loud. I have no idea how to do it though.
Oh, you tried? I've never had one.
I grew up in the soccer community. I mean, there was vuvuzelas everywhere.
Yeah, those are good.
Isn't that World Cup time? Those guys aren't going to be playing.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there ain't gonna be
The
jack
month after.
shit over there. Actually, we're gonna be. What if the United States?
Let's go to Qatar.
Well, the NFL's not going there. If the NFL plays a game there, we'll.
World Cup though, right?
Yeah, but that's not really our thing.
All right.
Yeah, it's football.
Shit, I'm a little disappointed.
I want to see what that outdoor air conditioning's like.
I think we should be the authority on the soccer, but for some reason, it just hasn't caught on. So we haven't become the authority on the soccer. But
I'm trying.
Once it happens, we'll go to the World Cup. Like maybe the next one.
Yeah, in the United States.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
We'll
There we go.
certainly go.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll-
travel to the
we'll
next
think
one.
about
Why
it.
not?
Look at us, dude.
Fuck it.
Here we
2026.
go. World's game.
That's the goal. That's the goal for 2026 for us to be the authority on the soccer.
Hell
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
If we go like Saturday to Monday too in Munich, we could watch the entire Sunday slate.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay a week after the game?
No.
No. We got to figure this
Before.
out. We have to do this though. Feels like we should do it.
Yes.
Let's live.
Dunkel.
Let's live.
Let's live.
Here we go.
Experience a lot. Whatever.
Got to be a soccer game close.
Dude, literally the square there. I was in Munich. The Hofbrauhaus. Hofbrauhaus is there, the original. And then there's like a bunch of bars. It's like a square area with good food. And then right up the road is where Bayern München player or whatever. It's like,
And that's where the game's at,
walking
right?
Distance, yeah, I think so. Oh,
That'd be incredible.
got to do it. All right, sweet. Let's go play on that.
Let's go.
All right, somebody go play on that. Let's figure out how we're going to do that. We should do that.
Call a travel agent.
All right, I don't know if those jobs even exist anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially with the whole thing.
I mean, yeah. You're gonna call somebody. Hey, can you make me a flight?
Hey, well, I'm not going to do that.
No.
If it involves your travel or your stay, you should be involved because whoever's scheduling it for you does not have to go through whatever you're going to have to go through. That is just a little lesson I've learned through my travels, and I understand it might be a little bit more, but we will definitely have hands-on conversations about the flight for sure.
Yeah.
Hands-on conversations.
And where we're staying. And you've already been there, too, so we have a little bit of experience.
I mean, listen. Do not bank on my knowledge of that. It was a little gray over there. It was a good time though. I know the people would be very nice, and obviously it would be an NFL celebration. That's cool. All right, so let's get to playing in that. Let's enjoy that. The NFL season is
125 days away from today,
and we'll cover it every Monday through
Hell yeah.
Friday up until then. Hopefully some more shit happens. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Shout out to JJ Redick, Ross Dellinger, and the Rupper for joining us. AJ Hawk, you're fantastic. Boys, great job today. Thank you to all the callers. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Hammer Dahn is in about 20 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. See you then. Bye.